Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jed7780 here with episode 4 of the Gaming Grindhouse. We have a special guest, Saltiest Gaming, and we also, Frog's Dream is in the house as well, everybody. So we will start. We got some good ass topics. We weren't gonna, I was thought today was gonna be dry, but the news came through for the Grindhouse. So get ready and welcome to the Grindhouse. And here we are. Yo, what's up? Hey, Frogs. I'd like to introduce our special guest, Saltiest Gaming. How you doing?
Yo, what's up? It's good to be here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Dang, no problem, man. Yeah, first time we put a guest on this show, first time guest, so welcome to the show. And then I got Frogzdopegaming. Frogs, what's up?
Oh, what's up, man? I'm just sitting here chilling, pretty excited about tomorrow. There's a lot available to a lot of PlayStation 5 owners and PlayStation people in particular. But it's looking good this week.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff coming out. A lot of stealth surprises, and we knew about those PlayStation Plus games last week. But man, they got a lot of stuff coming out here. But before we get into the grinds table, and shout out to the subscribers. You guys managed to get me to Hell's Gate of 666 subscribers. So hopefully tonight we could get out of that Hell's Gate of 666, maybe get a subscriber or two. So it doesn't look like I got the sign of the devil with this show. But I want to thank all 666 subscribers. But it's just looking at it, it looks like I'm gonna conjure up some bullshit going on here. But anyway, so we'll start with Salty. Salty, what you been playing, or what's interesting you coming out? Like, you don't have to say just what you're playing, but what are you hyped for as well?
Man, I've been playing a lot of stuff, to be honest, and that's kind of because I get gameplay for my videos, but also just I'm in that period where I played all the new games that came out for PlayStation 5, kind of in the period of backlog attacking that. I've been playing Days Gone again. I beat it. I lost my save file, and I was like, screw it, we're going for the platinum, So you really got to like a game to play it multiple times, especially a game that long. A lot of people complain about how long it is, and it does have some length issues. That sounded weird, but yeah, it's I enjoy the game a lot, man. There's something about it. The music's fantastic. The world, riding around on that Harley, slaying freakers, and just I click with that game, and I can't wait for the next one. So I'm playing that. My multiplayer is COD, Cold War, playing the multiplayer on there. For some reason, like my buddies that play COD, they love the Warzone, and I love playing that as well. And I like the Modern Warfare engine, but there's something about COD, the Cold War. I know it's janky sometimes, but I just love it, man. I have fun. I go in there and I snipe on Nuketown 24/7. I just have fun. So that's my multiplayer. I've been playing Sackboy.
Yes.
Phenomenal game.
That is so good.
I was so wrong on that game. I kind of thought I was like, man, this is definitely not my type of game. My game share buddy bought it. I tried it. I got hooked. So I'm playing that as well. Some Dirt 5. Love that game.
Yep.
And then I can't wait for we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I'm just shuffling around. But as far as games that are coming out that I'm excited about, Destruction All Stars. What can you say? Right, it drops tomorrow.
Baby. Midnight Hour.
Midnight. I'll be up for that.
Yes, you'll be up for that. Yeah, it's midnight your time. It's midnight regions time. So like people in Europe, I think, are playing it. Frog was talking to somebody that was playing it already. But yeah, that's at midnight, so that's gonna be hyped up. But yeah, I've been playing the same games as you pretty much. Like I've been doing that Sackboy Adventure. I think it is the music is awesome, and I hit a couple of the levels that actually had licensed music in it, and man, that is so like it is almost like an amusement ride. as you're going through those levels, and just everything is just jamming to the music. And I noticed that it holds up the music specifically. Like if you just kind of linger around an area, it just kind of keeps looping until you hit the next part, and then everything just hits on the beat.
Yeah.
Like it is so creative. And
It's that Bruno Mars level
oh
that you're talking
yeah,
about.
I did the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
one was the jungle one. I just did. I did the jungle one. It was oh, I forgot the song it was, but yeah, I just did that one today. But and I wish it tells you which ones are those, because it just sneaks up on you. Like you're just going through the levels, and all of a sudden it'll be one with a licensed song, and you're like, oh shit, like I know this song. Like damn, and it's like so cool.
The thing that's addictive about that game to me is collecting those orbs.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like the golden bells are part of like the currency you need to buy stuff, and then you got the points with the other orbs, and then there's this other currency like the secret orbs that you can find. So all that together gets very addictive to me, because if you do all that and you get a gold rating, you can get pieces of outfits, you can get all your different outfits and stuff like that. So that's like the addictive nature to me. And when I saw people doing that, like I watched David Jaffe play this game, and I was like, this looks boring and like dull. You're just going around and collecting these orbs.
Yeah.
But it's actually really it's really good, dude.
It is, and definitely, and you get those outfits, and you can mix and match all the different outfits and things like that. And I thought that they did a really good job of integrating the themes, like going to the jungle one, and it's like a jungle, but then it's also like it's also like a yard. Like I was going through a hose, like in a tunnel and stuff like that. Like it kind of made it look like I was a little person in this big world, almost like Grounded, like little, like a small person in this, like going through like chairs and ladders and stuff like that. Like they have an awesome sense of scale. But and the co-op, I've done the co-op with my son, and what's fun is that you collect those little orbs, and whoever gets the highest one gets the photo at the end, and you could like just beat the hell out of each other and like photobomb each other and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
to bring the co-op. But Frogs,
I haven't done the co-op yet, but I really want to do it. So.
Yeah, I've just done the couch co-op. I haven't done the online. Frogs did the online, like 3 people, stuff like that. But I didn't have the game at the time.
Hilarious.
It is fun because you can tug, pull, and throw people and jump on their head. But
we're running through the boards, picking each other up, throwing each other off the board.
That's cool.
Just having a great time. The game is really good. Little Big Planet is a series that I think that when it came out, it was kind of like something unique. And so I think this game really it evolved what Little Big Planet was, because Little Big Planet was a creator game, and now this game is kind of different from that. This is more like a 3D Super Mario World kind of game, I guess you could say.
It does have, it has like different parts of it too. Like it's so like interesting how it's like side scrolling sometimes, but then it's like it goes to like 3D into the screen. It's definitely like has its the different things. Yeah, I'm gonna get to some gameplay.
It's what's cool is like, say if you're playing one of the challenge boards and you outscore me, it will send me a notification on my PlayStation 5 saying, hey, Jazz played this board and he outscored you. You might want to go beat him.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Which is cool.
This also too, the what I did notice a lot is the textures of everything. It's just really crazy. And even when you're walking over some like different fabrics and stuff, you'll see it like dent with your feet and stuff. Like they did really cool. And know who made it? Sumo Digital made this. You might know them from infamous games such as Crackdown 3. And they worked with Terry Crews, and Sumo Digital made this game. So yeah, it goes to show you, it could be management issues, but man, they made a polished ass game with this one. So Crackdown 3 devs. Anyway, that's a little plug right there for them, I guess. But Frog, what are you playing? What else are you playing besides Sackboy Adventure?
Okay, can you hear me right?
Yes.
Okay, so believe it or not, I'm actually playing Cyberpunk. I got back into Cyberpunk again. Man, like they keep coming out with the updates, and I get pulled back into the story.
I heard the update added new bugs to it, though.
Okay. So the last update was really buggy.
Do you work for CD Projekt Red, Frog? Are you bug checking for them?
You know what makes this game so interesting? I'll be totally honest with you. What keeps me in the game? The story.
You've been telling me
with
that,
all the
thing,
with all the jankiness and everything going on. Like, and let me tell you, like I'm playing on the PS5. I have a physical copy, and my kids are playing it on the, my older kids are playing on their PS4 Pros, but I'm playing on the PS5, and I can tell you, I haven't had any crashes since these last two updates,
Uh-huh.
but I've had some weird things happen in the game. Like last night, I'm driving and like I'm driving under this underpass, or there's an overpass. I'm driving through the tunnel, and when I'm coming out the tunnel, there's like 8 cars just flying off the side of the bridge, just crashing each other. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So there's still craziness,
Oh, shit.
and it's funny, but the story, the little story and the side stories is what keeps me playing the game. I'm addicted to the story, the writing in the game. Um, like the writing keeps me there and it keeps me engaged, and I want to know more about the different paths of the different people I'm doing, for the story. So the story keeps me there. The combat is not bad. What I'll say is like, ah man,
Dude,
I'm
it's
not a
rough.
like
It's
I'm
rough.
not one of those.
I put
It's
it
rough,
down.
but this is a game that I definitely feel like it needed another year in the toaster. Um, it is it is a good game, but what I'll say is like if we're just looking at if it wasn't for the bugs, I think this game would be what kind of to a certain degree of what they didn't promise. Some of the things in there they didn't promise us, like the relationships not, but this game is good. I would say just damn man, like it needed more time to bake. And
Mm.
I don't know why, man. I always go back to it, and it's the storytelling. Like, oh, I'm like, man, I got to finish this story and got to see what happened to this character and blah blah. So the storytelling it keeps me interested. Um, Also playing Cold War, multiplayer
Yeah.
online. What else? Roll Company, of course. A little bit of Demon Souls.
That's what I've been
Little,
playing.
yeah,
Woo!
little bit of King of Fighters. A little bit of War Monsters. Uh, I reinstalled my Resident Evil Biohazard because it was one of those Resident Evils I couldn't get into,
Mm.
and I started playing it
Biohazard, was
again.
that
And
the
I was like,
first one?
no, I'm sorry, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Oh,
So Resident Evil
7.
7
Yeah, I
and
installed that too. I reinstalled it too.
yeah, and
I
the
was
thing
gonna,
is,
yeah.
like, I'm at a part in the game where there's just like these tar monsters, and they're trying to. And the game doesn't. I don't know why this Resident Evil doesn't interest me. It's just this old guy keeps chasing me. Every time I shoot him in the head, he dies. I ran him over in the garage. He's all burnt up. He pulls the gun in his mouth, blows his own brains out. But he keeps coming back, and I'm like, I'm just not. For some reason, this game I kind of feel like should have been like The Hills Have Eyes, kind of like it shouldn't have been Resident. It doesn't feel like a Resident Evil
I
game.
know.
It's very.
It,
It's just not.
I know it's,
It's
but Salty's in the other camp. That's his favorite. And actually, I did like Resident Evil 7. And I know Salty
yeah.
he
It's not that
loved
I
that
don't
one.
like
Now,
it.
Salty, you like
It's
that
not
better
that I
than him,
don't
right?
like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I guess because I'm a
You're a
older guy. I'm an old
traditional
school
one.
guy. I'm
Yeah.
traditional. Like I like my Resident. Like when they remade Part 2, I was like I'm there day one, and then I bought Part 3 day one. Of course, Part 3 is the weakest one on the link, and I'm waiting for them to redo 4, and I would love for them to redo Veronica. Like even the new Resident Evil, the demo I played it, and I was like, yeah, this is more Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. It's not that it's a bad game.
Yeah.
It's just non-traditional. I don't see how this fits in that lore of the stories, and it's very weird. And what I will say is, this Resident Evil game can scare you because it's in first person. It
Yep.
will terrify you.
I
When that
agree.
guy's running after you, and the old ladies, these characters look disgusting. Um, they're really this grotesque, and they're like some people that live in the woods, and I don't want to say like a state, because then people always associate people that live in the woods and hills have eyes, West Virginia. So I don't want to say that. But they just kind of seem like those people. They live out in the middle of nowhere and they're just doing sketchy
Wow.
things.
I gotta say,
And
going back.
it's just,
But do you play the 8
th-
demo, right?
yeah, I played it and I thought it looked good, but it's not something that
It's
I'm
not,
like, oh,
yeah.
I gotta have this day one. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, it wasn't a day one game for me. And the reason it wasn't a day one because I was like, oh, this looks so different. And
Yeah.
it's not that it's not a good game. It's just
It's
it's
not your
kind of
Resident
not.
Evil. I got you.
It's not my Resident. Yeah, you know, how, like people say, hey, not my Halo when they liking it.
Well,
It's
yeah.
not
Craig
my
was not my
Resident Evil.
Halo. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Craig definitely isn't my Halo, but
That's not
we'll
my
see how
Halo.
that pans out. But that's mostly what I've been playing. looking forward to playing Destruction All Stars.
Yeah. Let's see.
Control. Even though I own Control, I think my biggest problem with Control was it ran really bad even on the PS4 Pro. It didn't run really well.
Uh-huh.
A lot of screen tearing, a lot of stuttering. So I dropped the game. And now, from what I'm hearing, this game runs pretty damn flawless
Yeah, they did
on the PS5.
yeah, they did well, let me see if I can find it. The Control yeah, Control.
I know Digital Foundry
did
a
one.
video,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
didn't watch the whole thing. I just found out about it.
I'll
And one
have
of
it
my
on
buddies,
here.
like I said, he's playing Destruction All Stars, but he's an Aussie, and he says like, man, he's like, the game is gorgeous. And I was like, well, how's it play? He's like, it's fun. He's like, but you need to get a group of people together and play it.
Yeah.
And I was like, So I guess we'll see how that is tonight. But I'm bouncing around mostly, with the games I've been playing. I've been on HBO Max a lot, watching new movies too. So that's kind of been occupying my time. When I'm not gaming, I'm HBO Max, and I think HBO Max right now is probably the best
it's great
subscription platform outside of the Disney.
Yeah.
I've been bouncing around on games, but man, every night up at 5 o'clock in the morning, dude. I'm playing Cyberpunk. I don't know what it is, man. I'm playing until 5-6 o'clock in the morning, and you figured like I would freaking beat the game by now, but I'm pretty meticulous when it comes to games like this. Like I got to do every single little thing on the map.
You like that
I've
Cyberpunk? I got it sitting next to me, man. I did not. I played it for 5 minutes.
Blue thing on the map, man. Now I'm going through. Okay, now let me complete every orange thing. I don't even care about the main missions. I'm just doing side missions. And my buddy's like, "Holy crap, man!" He's like, "How many hours you put in the game?" I said, "I think I put over 100 in there."
That's crazy.
And
man.
then I looked at his profile, and he has 145 hours in there. And I'm like, "Wait, you're one to talk?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm addicted to it too." He's like, "I don't know what it is," and he's addicted to it.
Oh man!
And so we're just. I don't know what it is, man.
I played it for probably about an hour. I took a grenade, I threw it into the traffic, and I watched the cars not blow up. People just sit in the car while it's burning.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, they need to fix this. This is not immersive at all. I feel like it's a glitch fest right now. I will wait. Shout out to Link. What's up? Hey, Link, it's been a while. Joker, Sam Ash.
And the sad
What's up, Wooly?
Mug. I guess you could say sad or not sad. The reality is, I will beat this game. I'll probably platinum it. And when it comes out, on the PS5 with end of this year, beginning of next year, who knows? I'll probably play it again because it's a very interesting game. I'm more interested in at this point right now. I think the only thing I would drop this game for is that Witcher that they're promising.
Oh, yo, I was gonna ask you that. Do you really think that what is gonna be that Witcher update? You think they got time to do that? Because I bought The Witcher for a third time. Those sons of bitches got me for a third time. I bought The Witcher. I bought it on Xbox, I bought it on PC, and I bought it on PlayStation because they promised this update now. I have so many freaking hours in The Witcher 3, and I still never played the goddamn DLCs. So I was like, I'll play at least the DLCs. But do you think that is on their priority list after watching their roadmap?
At this point, it probably isn't.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
And so I'm being sort of optimistic. I guess if you want to be real, like the only game that I'm researching right now at this point, outside of my PlayStation exclusive, is that freaking Mass Effect freaking trilogy coming out. That's the only thing.
That might be a cash grab. That's on your forward thing.
That's on my calendar. Like as soon as that drops, as soon as they say, "Hey, it's coming," I'm that guy. Unfortunately, I'm such a Mass Effect fan that like I told you, I beat all of them.
I'll do too, man. I'll do too.
I freaking love the Mass. I just love. I love that universe. I love just being and living that universe. I say the Mass Effect Andromeda, I almost play, and I think it's BioWare, man. I same with Dragon Age. When the new Dragon Age comes out, that's a day one. I almost platinum Dragon Age. Inquisition, and a lot of people think that's the weakest one, but I don't know, something about BioWare, man. I still think they do have the ability to tell a good story and really prepare a good game. I just think that, unfortunately, in my opinion, I think they need to break away from EA. They need to kind of do their Bungie thing, but I don't think they have the capital to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't think they do.
Well,
So that's an unfortunate
all
thing.
right.
But
Well, yeah.
enough about me. Let's get to the
Yeah,
topics.
Rob, you've been playing a lot, and yeah, Mass Effect. I'm looking forward to Destruction All Stars at midnight. That definitely looks awesome. I'm definitely going to talk about our first topic, which that came out of the blue on the Grinds board. But yep, I've been playing same old stuff that I just mentioned. I was talking to Salty about, but we're gonna go to the Grind table because today, for some reason, I thought we're just gonna be just bullshitting the whole day, but we actually got some topics, and with that, let's go to the Grinds board and see what made today's news. So here we are, the Grinds board, and actually some things slipped in at the last minute, so we'll probably have to add some new stuff to here. But with the first topic, let's go to the first topic. We're talking about updates. We're talking about upgrades to The Witcher. One that just dropped probably a couple hours right before this show, and it's gonna launch tomorrow, is the one some of us been waiting for here. And I don't know. Oh, actually, I think my Discord thing's working. He's so salty up there, but whatever. It's God of War PS5 update. Oh, and the Division 2 update. Oh, but anyway, what do you think? So God of War is getting, let me go find out exactly what the God of War is getting. God of War is getting a 4K dynamic 60 frames per second mode in their resolution in their performance mode, and similar to probably I think like Ghost of Tsushima, like something like that. And then it's getting a native 4K 30 mode. Is that what they're getting? Correct me if I'm wrong. God of War updates.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so then no other textures or anything or lighting.
Ghost of Tsushima is a native 4K at 60. It's not dynamic. It is because when they did the update, they made sure to say, "Hey, this is native." So Ghost of Tsushima it only has one mode on the PS5, and that's native 4K at 60. I guess with
both modes
God
are
of War.
checkerboarded. Thank you.
Yeah, with God of War, both modes are going to be dynamic, but I think the one that runs at 30 will probably hit 4K more often. Which look, let's be honest. At this point, is dynamic 4K a thing with these current gen consoles? Yes, both the Series X and the PS5 are going to do dynamic 4K, and you're not going to be able to really, for the most part, tell when they're dropping in resolution. Here, most of the games I've played that have a dynamic resolution, like for instance, Demon Souls. I play Demon Souls at dynamic 4K 60, and when I go to the native 4K 30, I can tell you can barely tell the difference between the native and the dynamic.
But it was 4K checkerboarded already, right?
Yes, it was dynamic checkerboard. Well, I should say not dynamic.
I thought Demon Souls was 1440p.
No, not that. I mean, God of War. God of War was always checkerboarded, right? Or no?
Yes. Demon Souls Demon Souls is 1440p, but the 1440p versus and I'm sorry, let me rephrase myself. You're right. The 1440p 60 versus the 2160 30. You really can, to me, I can't tell it's very hard to tell the difference of what I'm gaining and what I'm losing. The biggest difference to me
I'm sorry. Yeah. The PlayStation 4 Slim was 1080p 30, I believe, for God of War, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, God of War.
And then PlayStation 4 Pro runs at about 45 frames per second, and I think it's dynamic, like checkerboarded resolution.
Okay.
I don't know if they claimed it was 4K or not, but I don't think it was even close to native 4K or whatever. But I think one of the reasons why that is for God of War, if you look at like the detail in that game compared to Ghost of Tsushima, I know Ghost of Tsushima is more of an open world. There's a lot less going on in that game.
More detailed,
God of War, a lot more particle effects, details, just crazy graphical details in that game. Because even at 1080p, when I popped that in at 60 frames per second, or whatever it was, it's before this update. Man,
it's 1080p 60,
that's like, You're talking about the difference between graphics and resolution. Some people mix up that
Yes,
idea. That
that's what I was
process,
asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So
resolution.
you're talking about the talent of Sony Santa Monica. They put this game out in 2018. Still to this day, stands up to games that are coming out in 2021.
Totally
And
agree.
beats the fuck out of them.
Yep.
Just graphical fidelity.
I totally agree.
So you look at like the detail on Kratos in the beginning, like 20 minutes of that game, when even just the opening, just look at the details on the leather, his face, the hair,
Very detailed.
the attention to detail that Sony Santa Monica does is phenomenal. It's second to none. And that's where you look at like what's going to happen with this update. People are going to just like the fanboys, right? The Xbox guys, let's just put it this way, because the 4K narrative, the true 4K and all that other bullshit teraflops, where did that come from? That came from Xbox, because they got dog walked in the beginning of last generation when it came to 1080p and 720 and checkerboard. All this stuff came from that side, right? So they got so messed up in that war, right? That they push power now in resolution and 4K and true 4K, and it has to be 4K or nothing, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a crisp 1440p image with ultra textures, ultra settings, shadows, all that, right?
Volumetric lighting, like all the lighting,
everything,
and
yeah,
like all that stuff. Yeah, it's graphics, like graphic and graphical effects, really, over just pure resolution. Yeah.
I'll take that any day of the week over true 4K bullshit and like weak ass textures and this and that. So if there's an option, so that's why I think when you're looking at this situation with God of War, people are gonna be like, it's checkerboarded. The PlayStation can't handle. It's like, no, that's not it.
Dude, hey, it's a free update, and you know what? I gotta go kill some Valkyries, so that is good. When I have time in between my next gen games, I'll jump in and maybe kill some Valkyries on a better looking or better playing God of War, which I love that game, and it's absolutely incredible.
What's up, Link?
You gotta see what it looks like. But man, and then the other game before we move on to the next topic, Division 2. And next topic. We don't care about Division 2. Next topic.
I was gonna say next.
Look at the goddamn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of Division 2. Move on.
I see Link jumped in here in the grinds table.
Oh,
want to acknowledge him.
Link.
What's up, Link? I see you're muted.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the grind. We're gonna get you on the grind stable here. What's up, Link?
Now, I saw him in the chat talking about it's always checkerboarded. I didn't know if you wanted to throw his info in there.
Oh, Frog brought him to the table.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's checkerboard. But I mean, checkerboard, upscale, what difference does it really make?
It still looks good.
Yeah, I agree, man.
It looks good.
It looks good, and it's going to look even better tomorrow. So I can't wait to see what it
That was a surprise update. I wasn't expecting this.
I
thought they just were not going to update the game.
Exactly. I was so surprised that they weren't. I was really surprised that they were doing that.
But if you play the game off the disc without any day one patches, you can play it in the 4K. With the unlocked frame rate. So.
I've heard that about a lot of games. If you have the disc version, it's the same with what's that game with the little boy and that little cat dragon thing?
The Last Guardian.
The boy and the cat dragon thing.
Hey, that's what I call him, the cat dragon.
Yeah,
Last Guardian, dog dragon, cat dragon. Yeah, they said the Last Guardian. If you have the disc version, you can play it in its full capacity. From what I hear, which is
a lot of games. A lot of games released initially with unlocked frame rates.
Nice.
And then they later on went and patched the games to have a steady, stable 30. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That was.
Well, and then the Division's coming out. Division's not doing anything with that one, so
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't really care about that game.
I can care less.
I don't care
about that one. We don't care about that one. So then the next topic on our list is the medium reviews, and I don't want to talk too long on the medium because I think that we talk too much about a game that really doesn't deserve that much talking. It's in my opinion, from what medium exactly. From my opinion, I saw what I saw. I'm not interested yet, but when maybe Game Pass gets another game that I'm interested in, maybe I'll jump on Game Pass for that. Peekaboo Gaming, hashtag Peekaboo Gaming, jump on, and then maybe I'll download the medium and run around with my stiff ass animations. But from what I saw right there, I was like, I you know what? And I think it's getting a lot of pressure put on it, a lot of hype put on it, as with everything, scrutiny. You know what? Let it be, let it be. It's medium, it's medium. No DLC plans announced. Like, it is what it is. Come and go. Fly by night. And Bleeding Ass says hi. So with that, anybody play the medium?
Bro, can I comment on this game for a little bit?
Yes.
Salty's
gonna go in on the game while I try to fix the friggin' the icons over here. Good.
All right. So just to give you an idea about this game, I tried to watch it to get an idea of what was going on, and I fell asleep minimum, I don't know, 10 minutes.
He fell asleep.
It's better than Ambien, I guess, at this point. But
oh damn.
I think the first time I saw the trailer, I don't know, what was it, at the Xbox showcase or something like that? They kind of made the shit look interesting through that trailer, but then the more and more you went into it, you're just like, wow, dude, this thing looks like a walking simulator with like the controls and the camera of like a Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation, you know?
Thank you.
It is just so bad, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's just
so
like,
dated.
wow, dude, what is going on? I was like, are these people making this game in Dreams, dude? I'm pretty sure you could at this point, you know?
Dreams is awesome.
But Dreams is cool.
Dreams
But
is
you know, people like amateurs are making those things in Dreams, right? Not a full-fledged development studio.
Exactly.
So the thing is, it's weird to me that there's so much cap for this game and so much pop for this game, and the only reason that is because Xbox launched with no exclusives. They launched with no games. So immediately, like if any game is exclusive, quote unquote, or timed exclusive to Game Pass, these Xbox dudes got a cap, like it's going out of style. Like it's got to be.
So is that why it's getting all the?
It is. Trust me. It's like it's in Game Pass, so it's got to be. It's got to be awesome. I got to talk about that I'm playing it. I got to tweet about it. I got to do this and that. When in reality, if this wasn't in Game Pass, no one would be playing this. No one would be talking about it.
If I'm not mistaken, Salty, from what I've seen on the internet, this game is also coming to PlayStation.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's
timed exclusive.
It's time exclusive because I've seen somebody. They said they got some bad edition with like the game. They didn't even on the bottom. It says PlayStation or an Xbox, and I was like, they didn't even have the courtesy to take. They said this is basically, from what I've been reading, this was supposed to be a game that was supposed to be on last generation. And it just jumped to this generation. This shit's gonna come out on PlayStation and go double.
Oh, I definitely think it's a timed exclusive. But I think the thing, Frog, though, people talking about with that aim controller or something like that had old PlayStation stuff on it. I think the medium just kind of slapped their branding on an aim controller box, which was built for I have no clue what the hell they did, but I'm sure this game is coming to PlayStation just like Blair Witch did, and all the other games.
That was another game that was bad. It came to
I streamed Blair Witch. That was bad.
Blair Witch came out, and it was
I played that.
Xbox exclusive, and then it came to PlayStation. I was like, this game is ass. Like, this shit's gonna go double.
It was bad too.
But don't take our word from about it. Link, did you play?
I did play it. I played about 2 hours.
We got somebody that played it. 2 hours in.
And I'm not, Salty kind of, I'm not kidding you when I say I literally, about an hour and a half in, started falling asleep playing this game.
Wow.
And the problem with the game is there's really not much. I mean, I don't know. I only played 2 hours. But it's slow. The walking's really slow. It has these fixed camera angles from like Resident Evil 2, not the remake,
the original,
the PlayStation 1 game. The character, her face, she just has this blank look on her face. The
so
lip
she has a
sync,
punchable face, basically.
Yeah, she's a very punchable face. She doesn't really show any emotion. I don't know if that's just how they wanted her to look, but the lip syncing is just not right. It doesn't appear to be. It almost appears as though they didn't do any kind of mocap or any kind of facial capture. Wow. It was almost like it was just the lips are kind of just moving, but they're not. The game is just I don't know, and it's got film grain, and I absolutely hate film grain. So in the game, I know
do it well, but I think
you can't turn it. You should get an option to turn it off. You
Oh,
can't
you
turn it
can't
off.
turn it off.
You can't
Oh,
turn it off. On PC, you can turn it off, but on console, you can't turn it off.
damn.
The most games
What is that?
put film grain in a game when the resolution is very low to kind of hide the resolution of the game. But I think that's why they've implemented film grain, because the game runs at a lower resolution, and it's just not. I played games where there's not really much action. It's more just like walking around, picking up items, reading, getting story. But this game is extremely boring, extremely boring. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but I wanted to boot up my Series X because I hadn't really played it since launch, whenever I tried out Gears in 120 FPS mode. But honestly, this game, the problem with the medium is that the games like the medium are okay. You have mediocre games that come out on PlayStation, but those are sandwiched in between big AAA games.
Yeah.
Right.
When you don't have any big AAA games and you're kind of hyping this game up to be your next gen showpiece, it's just going to be scrutinized even more.
Yeah, and
And
that's
that's
the
just what it
unfortunate
is.
thing. You're right. Like that's the unfortunate thing is that why, you know, these games are getting such scrutiny. It's because I think there's so much talk about them because of that. Like when you if you want to look at a game for what it is, and that's fine, you know, then look at, you know, if you play the game and like it. But if you look at it as a demonstration of next generation hardware, which that was, because Microsoft doesn't have anything else, this was their demonstration of a true next gen game for them in Game Pass. Like this is, and I think the thing that gets a lot of people is that this is a demonstration of when you're supposed to break the bubble. Game Pass is the subscription. Everybody knows that's where you're going. This game is a next-gen game for the 500 hardware that you hyped up for over 2 years of teraflops. It had code names called Project Scarlet, and we talked about this thing for 3 years before it came out. The teraflops, the cores, the fill DNA, all this crap that they had in this thing. And now this is your first demonstration. This was supposed to come out in December, November at launch. It comes out now. And the thing is that it's not hitting the bullet points that were hyped up by the marketing of the console. And unfortunately, it became a victim of that in the narrative of the game. The other thing that's kind of interesting, though, is I'll just look at the Metacritic. Metacritic has the PC version at 77, and I know it's 39 reviewers as opposed to 61 reviewers on the Series X, the best place to play, at 71. Why is there such a huge dichotomy between the two platforms? Is it that
You know what?
I don't know
You know
what
what
the
it
hell the
is?
difference is.
There are more people. There are more reviewers on the Xbox side, and I've always said this.
There
When it
are
comes
more
to even
reviews on the Xbox
multi-plat
side.
games,
There is, yeah.
there are more reviews on the Xbox side because there's more Xbox centric reviewing sites. So,
But you
you
think they'll
have
be higher though, right, Frog? Because they're like,
you would figure, but I think you have more sites to review on Xbox, and they only review on Xbox. So, for instance, when a game like, let's just say, a Call of Duty comes out on both consoles, and you got
yeah.
an Xbox site that's reviewing that Call of Duty, of course they're going to give the edge to whatever because they only review it on Xbox. They didn't review it on PlayStation.
But still, it's
But
lower
places
than
like
PC though. It's
yeah,
71
but places
as
like
opposed to
IGN and
77.
GameSpot, they're reviewing it on both consoles. So their review, whatever their review is for one, is going to mutually be for the same. So I would say sometimes Xbox does have an advantage to me when it comes to reviews because they have more
They have
review
the Xbox
centric.
websites.
They
Yeah.
have their the Windows Central. They
It's
only
just
review
weird
Xbox stuff.
that they have that
So
huge
I think that you
thing.
figure it would have a higher score because you have more people reviewing it, but sometimes it doesn't pan out like that. And when this game comes to PlayStation, I don't think it'll review as well. I think what we're seeing now, we're going to get the same scores. And if the game scores lower, the only reason it scores lower is because they have less people reviewing it on the PlayStation.
I heard you
I
could play
expect this
60
game.
on PC, right? It's locked to
You
30.
can't. No,
It's
you
30.
You can't.
can. No, you can play higher than 30 on the
Oh,
PC.
you can.
You
Okay, I didn't
can,
know that.
but the game is very unoptimized. So I mean, even people
Oh,
who have very high-end graphics cards are maybe getting 70 FPS, and sometimes it can dip down to 30. So the
that's
game,
crazy.
yeah, on the high-end PC, so the game is very unoptimized. And I don't know, they're using Unreal, I want to say, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's another thing. Unreal.
the game is very
That's
demanding on PC.
ridiculous.
So I think that's part of the reason why you see the 900p and things like that and the 30 FPS, because the game is extremely demanding on PC.
Yeah. And it is a different type of game too. Oh, sorry, Frog, go ahead.
I was gonna say that surprises me, and I know we talk about resolution, graphics, so forth, but that does surprise me that as well developed as the Series X and the PS5 are, that for this instance, the Series X, you have a game that's dropping down to 900p. I wouldn't think that would happen. I wouldn't think that would happen with these
and the
games.
frame pacing. That's some framing issues, I think. Right, some frame pacing.
It's got frame pacing issues, yeah.
And I think that also another thing this does, and I hate to be the Xbox slanderer. I think when you look at games like this, and it's only on Series X and S, it really shows you that the S should have just been a Series X.
Oh my god!
Oh, don't
that
you just made the list.
Understand why that system was created, other than to try to get people onto what they call the next generation consoles. That they should have did what PlayStation did. Here's a Series X that's discless for $399, and here's a Series X that has the full bells and whistles with the disc tray. That Series S, like you're jumping down to 600 something p. I'm like, come on now, like it can't even keep a 720, like it can't even keep an HD like that. Going with the future of games, I don't see how how they're going to continuously support this box. What is Halo going to run on this box? 540p? You see what I'm saying?
I have no clue.
I just don't get it.
That S is booster, man. Nobody wants you booster. Like it's the Game Pass box, right? It's the Game Pass box, and that's what's supposed to be. And it's the 1440p 120 hertz, whatever the hell they market it as. The thing is the problem with the S is that it's not going to hold its own moving forward. Like if it's not doing what it's supposed to do now, like I think the Xbox One X was a better transitional console than the S. I know for developmental wise with the CPUs and the upgraded internals, it's probably easier to develop for the Series S, I guess. Like, even though it's limited RAM, but because the other one was just so like GPU heavy. But I think that as a consumer, the X would have been a better transition console as something they could have revised to making it into the Series X. But I think the issue that they ran into was a marketing strategy in the fact that they couldn't really market two most powerful 4K consoles and really kind of justify a difference of a couple of $100. And I think that's why they prematurely got rid of the X, the One X.
That's why I said they should have just went with, and I know, unfortunately, they would have lost a lot of money. That's why I said I think they should have did the PlayStation strategy.
You could see the frame rate drops in this thing. I don't watch
it. Here's an Xbox Series X with a disc and one without a discless system. I think to me that would have been a better transition than saying, "Oh, here's a discless console and it's less powerful than the X, and it's $299 and yeah, we're running games at 600 and something p. Like, who wants that? Who wants that? And then it just makes you think like, how are your games that are only going to be on Series X and S going to run on that weaker console because it's weaker? How's Halo? How's Fable? Because these games, as far as I know, they're only going to be for this current gen we're in. They're not going to be for last gen. How are these games really going to run on this thing? And I think Sony's not going to have that problem because they have two boxes that have the same internals, basically power. Yeah. And I think that is a problem that Microsoft's going to have to figure out sooner than later, to where they're like, hey, we can no longer support the S, or we'll support it, but your game is just going to look like you're playing it on a freaking day one Xbox.
That's right. And the other thing, before I move on to the last review of the medium, and the fact is this whole S conversation is that it is going to present. It's going to be. The thing is that it's going to be something just like they couldn't shake the One S. The Series S is going to be that thing that just puts like it's like, oh yeah, remember this, and it's just going to be, well, Xbox comes in at 1440p and like 568p or some crap like that, and it's just going to be like, why are you having these low resolutions associated with your next gen hardware? Now you got to go into the explanations. Now you got to go, well, that's the less powerful box. It's all talk. It's all. The thing is I always find that if you are clear in your messaging, and as we've seen over the last few years, and just as recently as the last week or so, Microsoft's messaging is all over the place. They say one thing and they shit out another. They eat the filet mignon and then they talk about some bullshit. The thing is that their messaging has caused them a lot of issues, a lot of social distraught because people just don't trust them, and the things that there's some people that trust them too much just because Phil's a nice guy and he retweets you and says, kumbaya, and brings a bag of marshmallows with him. But the thing is, that's not enough. That's not gaming. That's just, he's a nice guy, and that has nothing to do with the gaming or the gaming investment that you make, because he is not buying these consoles for me. So the thing is the next person that looked at the review, and that's why I wanted to ask Salty, is David Jaffe, who was on the Saltiest podcast. Shout out to that. We go on that on Thursdays. Thursday nights, we're on the Saltiest podcast. Jaffe was on. He loved the Game Pass, and then he was talking about the Medium, and Medium is a great opportunity for Game Pass, and then he played the Medium, and what did he say, Salty?
He's like, I can't play this trash in a certain amount of words, right?
Certain amount of words.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that it's just one of those cases. I've told people this, that my game share buddy, he subscribes to Ultimate, so I have the option of playing all these games if I want to. I mean, it kind of speaks volumes. I don't know if it's just a kind of subjective thing, because it comes down to game preference. Like, I can't just say, hey, this game's trash or this game's trash. You might think it's awesome, but overall, like, the problem with Game Pass, and I try to hammer this home with Jaffe, is it's a leadership problem, because it funnels down into the product. And he was like, oh, he believes those two things are separate, but I can never believe that those are separate. It's kind of it's a quality control thing. So, like, if your leader isn't up to snuff, then everything trickles down from that, like, to the quality of Halo, which is your number one franchise, to stuff like this. And you guys were commenting on this, like, you were saying PlayStation has its mediocre games too, as well. Yes, it does, but it has its bangers and its quality games, and that's the difference between Xbox and PlayStation right now. Xbox is just all filler. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet where you get the shits afterwards.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It, like, you're just
At
getting
least
all
that's
the.
what they're presenting it. That's what we're seeing as. That's the thing. Prove us wrong, right? That's
so you're getting games like the Medium, and what other bullshit came out, like the Falconeer and some other stuff, right?
Was Falconeer in Game Pass? Was it, or they? I didn't even know.
Or no, I don't think it went to Game Pass. What other stuff went in there? Grounded,
Crackdown 3,
Bleeding Edge, Bled Out,
Gears
what
5.
Just filler, right? You're getting the appetizers. Some fried pig skins or fried potato skins, but then they're like, sorry, we're all out of steak here. Well, why did I come to the steak restaurant if you guys are just going to serve me bullshit? It's like, that's the thing. When you get the Game Pass, like, if you had the other items, if you had the steak at the steak restaurant, then you could have a subpar appetizer and people wouldn't go away just disgusted from what they were served. And that's the thing. It's like, everybody's like, oh, it's just going into Game Pass, it's free. The Medium, it's a 70. It's fine. That's not a terrible score. And it's just like, that's what you're getting as a main course for Xbox. Like, these dudes are starving. They're like in a desert, have no water, no food. So then they pick up a dried ass fig that has some hair on it, and maybe they think that that's a 5-course meal. When you're not eating, that's what it seems. But when you're eating good, like on the PlayStation side, you could kind of tell the quality differential, because we're getting a free game with Destruction All-Stars as just a perk for being a PlayStation Plus subscriber. So that's the cherry on top of the sundae. That's not the entire equation.
Right?
And
you could be less critical when you have a bad game. When you have, like, the thing is that they have a lot more to prove because of what they have done, and games like the Medium are getting a lot of pressure put on them. Games like Grounded, games like Bleeding Ass, these games got pressure on them because this was what was coming from Microsoft's first party, and this was a demonstration of what was coming. What was coming to the Game Pass, and the justification when they said all their games are going into Game Pass, and again, it's the definition of value. And unfortunately, and know what I say, I'm done. The Medium. Well, I heard some people go, I'm glad that's out of the way. All right, so what's next?
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know.
On the
Jack,
Xbox?
jack shit.
Xbox?
Jack and shit. I don't know.
Jack, nothing's coming out in February, by the way.
I guess. Wait, we got to go to that list of what is it? Fred and Bill. I don't know what the hell they are. Xbox Y. Like, everybody. I'm done talking to Medium. But you know what? Let's get that Medium out of the way because Microsoft has a lineup of bangers. Let's see.
They do.
I don't even know what banger to start with. This is like a friggin' bordello with all those goddamn friggin' bangers going on here. Let's see. Where is this list? Oh, Sea of Thieves gets a free update. Sea of Thieves, the goddamn housefly that won't die. I swear to God, that's Sea of Thieves. I talk about. I think there's been more hours spoken about Sea of Thieves than gameplay. I swear to God, that friggin' game. Where's their list of their bangers for 2021? Because I want to know what's next for since the Medium. Let's get that out of the way and know what's next. Let's see, Xbox 2021. Half of the and this is the other thing. Half of the stuff for Xbox 2021 was supposed to be Xbox end of year 2020. The Medium, Scorn. If you like alien dicks. You got what else? We got Scorn. We had Psychonauts 2. The game that's been in development for a long time, and now he could do anything he wants because he said Microsoft greenlights everything. I don't know, and people still want them to buy more studios. Like I think they got enough, and they got to prove what they got before they start buying more and more studios. Like,
bro, Jez, I sent you something in the Discord. It kind of shows the differential between it.
Wait,
so
see.
basically, the games that you're looking at for Xbox, not all of them are in Game Pass. Yeah. So Medium, Falconeer, Call of Sea, Bright Memory, and then on the PlayStation side, you're looking at games like Marvel Spider-Man, AAA, Demon Souls, AAA, Astro's Playroom, which is a demo, but it's AAA, Sackboy, awesome game. So that's the difference,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you keep doing these games as exclusives, like these stuff, and it's like these might be good, but you need to put them in between more polished games. Like, and that's the thing. Like, with Sony, if Sony releases these games, and guess what? If Destruction All Stars comes out at midnight and it's goddamn garbage, you know what? Move on, because what's next? Like, and what's next. You know that there's Horizon there. You know that there's the next God of War there. You know that there is Returnal, whatever that turns out. Even Returnal comes out and gets a 60. Who cares? I will buy it. Next game. Get that out of the way. Next game. And that's the thing. When you have that stuff, you're not as critical at each game. But when you got things after dud after dud after dud, and every game needs to have this friggin' novella created of why it's good for Game Pass, why are we doing this, everything needs this drama. Oh, it's good for me. See it, bleeding ass was fun with friends. All this stuff. It's like Microsoft needs to improve their quality. And I got that famous Phil quote where he says, our games have our quality. When you think of Xbox, I want to think quality. And our quality has not been good over these last few years. He said that in 2019. He said we didn't have good quality games in the last few years in 2019. And he acknowledged that in 2019. We're in 2021 now. Phil has to do a new interview. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand. Like, this has been going on for years. This is not like a bad spring or a bad fall.
So they it's been over 500 plus days since Microsoft dropped a AAA exclusive, and with Halo being delayed until the fall of this year. I mean, if Halo had to come out like it was supposed to in November, what were they going to have for 2021?
That's a good question, because you're right. Their 2021 is 2020. Like, what would they have? I don't know.
Wow, you know what? I've never thought about that.
They wouldn't have
really.
We didn't know what was after Halo, right? Like, we didn't know what was after Halo.
They would not have had a single AAA game.
I never thought about that. That's a good one.
Yeah, they wouldn't have. I thought about it. I was like, well, okay, Halo got delayed. What were they going to put out for 2021? They got all these studios, 20 plus studios. Where are the games?
Yeah. Oh, they're coming.
I mean, I like indie games. I like smaller games. I like smaller titles. Right. Everything doesn't have to be big blockbuster.
Sure.
AAA banger. Everything, I can play all kinds of games. But you need You have to have a variety. You can't just have all these mid games, these default mid
Agree.
games.
Here's a list of them. The Artful Escape, Adios,
Okay.
The Big Con, Crossfire X Campaign. That was supposed to come out last year. Dead Static Drive, Echo Generation, Echo 1, The Gunk. Here's Halo, The Last Stop, Lake, Little Witch in the Woods, The Medium, which we already did that, A Flight Simulator, to all my pilots out there. Psychonauts 2, and these are just 2021. These have no like months next to them. Sable, RPG Time, Scorn. A special edition comes with a special alien dildo. I heard they're really getting behind that game. Shredders, Song of Iron, Tunic, Unexplored 2, 12 Minutes to Nowhere. That's the one with the one room and all that other stuff. Warhammer, they love their Warhammer. They like that. Wild at Heart, the Yakuza games, welcome. And wait, that's about it. So that is the year so far, and that's exclusivity if you call whatever they call exclusivity nowadays. The Ascent looks good. That was on their thing. I guess, and the rest of it is just and besides Halo Infinite, is any of those games gonna get anybody to sign up for Game Pass? That's the problem. That's their challenge. No. Who's signing up for Game Pass? You know what? Last year was better. Minecraft Dungeons. I was like, you know what? Let me sign up and play some Minecraft Dungeons, some Ori. That was not bad.
That was a multiplayer.
You're right. But again, if it was in Game Pass, I was able to double dip and play some Ori, and I was able to play that. And you know, Microsoft knows that we're not, well, maybe they don't, because I think they think gamers are stupid, and I think that's the biggest thing that drives me crazy, because they think that we're not intelligent, because people are going to just jump on when they want to, and none of these games is anything to jump on for. And I think to close out the whole Medium thing, to get to the next topic, the thing is like, I think with the Medium, we can all agree that, if it is what it is, it's a game that you like, you love it, you want Medium 2, can't wait. The sequel with 4 screens this time. They're going to do 4 games running at the same time. I can't wait. Medium 2 is going to come out 5 years from now. And it'll be in Game Pass and xCloud and all that other stuff. The thing is that I think we all agree that the Medium is not really going to, they're not going to be like, well, guys, we had 3 million last quarter. This quarter we went up 5 million. Thank you to the success of the Medium. No. And I think that's a thing that people really need to look for, because everybody wants to talk about Game Pass, because Game Pass is Xbox. And if you're not putting content in there that is going to drive that millions up, then basically that service could find a different path, or Microsoft's going to pivot. And you know what? The thing is that the games that they're bringing to Game Pass is just demonstrating why the criticism exists for Game Pass. And they're going to have to prove us wrong, because till now, Game Pass, they're releasing hardware, releasing software, and people say it's the future. And we'll get into the biggest topic with the cloud, how 2 years ago that was our future, and now it looks like it's on the doorstep. It died faster than VR. I can't wait to get into that one. So now, the next topic we're going to get into, we're done with the Medium. Good luck. Enjoy the Medium. Walk around. Hit X. Enjoy. And maybe I'll play it in Game Pass, and I'll give it a Grinds, my gear score of 7 5s or whatever. Who gives a shit? Anyway, the next thing is MLB The Show 21 on Xbox. My God, if you've been living under a rock for over a year, people woke up today to cover art of MLB The Show 21 with a PlayStation logo on it on Xbox. I like to say, did you just get the internet? What do you guys think? Because we knew this last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did a video today. If you guys haven't checked it out, shameless plug.
There it is. There it is.
They actually went back all the way to 2019 December is when this announcement was made.
Oh, is that far back?
Whatever your name is.
That far back, yeah. And then they talked about the Switch, and they talked about Xbox. So we've known this. The thing is, I talked about in my video, from the outside perspective, right? I haven't been on the PlayStation platform a long time, but just looking at MLB The Show as a exclusive on one platform is just weird, because if you look at all the other pro sports, FIFA, Madden, they're multi-plat. It's because the fan base and all this other stuff. So the fact that PlayStation had this as an exclusive for so long, to over 20 years, right, is crazy. So the MLB came out and said, "Hey, we want to make more money on this. We want to target more gamers." So you could do one of two things. You can keep the license and publish this multi-plat, or we could give it to someone else. And from an outside perspective, you know, the people over there that I think it was like San Diego, the people over there that make this game, they've perfected the art of this game, and fans are used to what they do with this game. So it'd be weird for another studio to pick it up and just change everything. Maybe it wouldn't work out. Who knows if it would? So it works out for both parties to say, hey, we're going to keep the license. We're going to make it multi-plat. You make money. We make money. But it is weird that this is going to be on Xbox after 20 years. You've been seeing it as a PlayStation exclusive, seeing that blue box, and all of a sudden you see, the show on a green box with PlayStation Studios on the right. It just doesn't sit right. And then automatically gamers are going to be like, well, okay, well, this is the first in many for PlayStation. This is the beginning of the dam breaking.
Horizon was the first too on the PC venture. Horizon was the first.
They're like, yeah, it's just a matter of time before God of War goes to Xbox. It's like, dude, can you guys slow your roll up a little bit here? There's a difference between a multi-plat sports game and first party IPs, right? That's not happening. The reason why this happened is because the MLB controls that license. They control what they do with their product. Now, when it comes to like games like God of War and Horizon, all this other stuff, that's owned by Sony. They control their destiny with that. So that's not the case. So it's funny to see the Xbox guys, especially that say that they're neutral
and against $70 games, right?
Against $70 games, and they're neutral, right? But then they're tweeting about how excited they are to play this game on their Xbox. And it's like, well, why is that if you've been playing it on your PlayStation this whole time? You know,
because they haven't.
Exactly. That's the case. So I just think it's a non-talking point. I really don't like baseball in general. I think it's boring. If you do, more power to you. I don't really like watching 4-hour games that are boring as hell.
Great. I don't know. Have you ever played this show? You ever play any of them?
It was in PS Plus for free, and I really didn't. I didn't even.
Baseball is a slow game. It looks incredible. The animations are great. I can tell you that online has always been crap, and they always shut down their servers like of the game year before, like before the new one comes out. So like they shut down the 2018 servers before the 19, but their servers are never good anyway. Their biggest thing is the road to the show, where you take somebody from the minors up until the game, and you know it's. You know, you want to be an outfielder and play that role and just stand there and wait for the ball to come to you. Like, you know, I don't know. I tried doing it. I can't do the road to the show. I can't do any of those friggin' sport games. Like, I control one player. I want to control the whole goddamn team. I control one player. If that's the thing, then I would have played sports. Like, you know, I just can't. I would have, whatever. I don't want to do that in a game. But the thing is like, this was an MLB. Nobody stepped up and made a competing baseball game. Sega dropped out of the whole thing with 2K. 2K dropped out of baseball because their animation sucked ass. They were horrible. I remember on Xbox, that was the saddest baseball games. Like World Series was decent on the Dreamcast. I played that with my friend. But when they went to 2K and they did 2K baseball, I forgot what the hell it was called. 2K All Base. What the hell was it called? Let's call some bullshit. It was 2K something, but it was bad. Their animation, I remember the animations looked so janky. The game would stutter when you would when you hit the ball out there. It would always like hitch, and it was never smooth from the batting when you hit the ball to when it went to the field. And I remember I was playing MLB The Show on my PSP. And I played that so much on my PSP because the animation, it looked like incredible on the PSP. Playing that game and how smooth it was. Like, it was the smoothest friggin' baseball game. And, you know, Xbox fans, you're going to see this is some polished shit. Like, this is, and we'll see. Who knows? Maybe this year they mess up because they have to go multi-plat. I don't know. But one thing I have to say, though, for online, that crossplay thing, good luck to that because their online really wasn't the best. I remember. Like, it was laggy. It was not that great. But anyway, Frogs, you play baseball or Link?
I You know what's crazy? I do not even like the game, but I've been buying it every year since 2016 because I have a friend of mine who loves it, and we'll play online a little bit. But yeah, this is a licensed game. I don't understand why people are making a big deal out of it. Well, the reason is because it's an actual Sony first party studio that's publishing the game on another platform. But it's a licensed game. Sony does not own the rights to MLB. These guys are idiots.
Yeah.
It's just ammunition in the console war. That's all it is.
I agree.
They're not going to buy this game. You're going to see Sony's going to – the numbers are going to come out. The sales numbers are going to come out for this game, and you're going to see how huge the difference is on the PlayStation platform versus on the Xbox because they do not buy games. So
here's the box art. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally I have last year's. The only reason I have last year's just because something was wrong with my PS4 Pro before I got my PS5.
They gave it. Yeah. I sent
my PS4 Pro, which was out of warranty, by the way, by a year, and Sony fixed it for free and then sent me a free copy of the MLB Show, the whatever edition, the good edition. I don't know. Before that, I was big into like baseball and all that, but over the years, sports games, I've become less and less interested in them. The older I get, I just rather watch it than to play it. So MLB The Show coming to Xbox. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Sony doesn't own an MLB. And if Sony didn't, put it everywhere, then EA would have took up the mantle and we would have got it. It would have just been one of those games you're sitting there like, damn, EA's the only one that makes baseball now. Also, is football, And I think there needs to be some competition. There's no competition.
I know, man.
Nobody
Madden.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, nobody wants to go out. Well, with EA and football, I think if EA didn't do what they do, 2K would make a football game. But I think the problem is nobody wants to go out there and make an MLB game. The MLB games don't make money. The money is where where soccer is, or NFL football, or even basketball. That's where the money is. I don't think hockey and baseball make the money like they used to. So
hockey needs a big
like,
update, man. They haven't done the frostbite on that
Sony's
bullshit.
like, we'll keep it just to keep our fans, whatever. And maybe depending after this year, maybe Sony will say, you know what, screw it, because from what I've heard, that their baseball team, which is Sony, what's the baseball team? Is it San Diego?
San Diego studio, yeah.
San Diego's supposed to be making another game.
Yeah, San Diego
it's not
studio.
A sports game. That's if you look at their Twitter, they're hinting at that they possibly making a game that's not baseball. So maybe they continue to make their baseball games for this year, maybe next year, and then Sony says, you know what, give up the license. It costs too much. Let EA take it. We don't care. And then we'll go back to MVP baseball because I think that's the one that EA made was MVP.
That's what it was. You're right. EA made Triple Play.
No, EA made Triple Play.
Sega made World Series, and then they changed it. You're right. They changed it to 2K something. I forgot what the hell it was.
2K something, yeah. Because everybody had back in the PS2 era, we had like three people. We had three companies that were making a baseball game, three companies making football games, three companies making hockey games.
Oh yeah, Sony, Xbox used to make a friggin' like a baseball game back in the original day. Like they made
they made baseball, football, and basketball.
Hey, I found the tweet from Phil Ness from 2017. Phil Ness. Let's go back in time. Somebody asked him, "Hey Phil, do you see any MLB The Show type of baseball games coming to Xbox?" That was in February 2017. And Phil says he warmed up his hands. He loosened himself up with some oozing Phil Ness and typed on his iPhone. Or Tweetium for Windows. Actually, he was using Windows 8 at the time. Oh, shit. Windows 10. He was using some goddamn apps on Windows because there was an official Twitter app on Windows Store because nobody gives a shit about UWP. But anyway, that's a whole side story. Phil says, I'd love for a big third-party baseball game to come to Xbox. 2017, Phil. And they waited. Did Phil deliver? The MLB told Sony, make those games on other platforms, and Sony was forced to do it. Did Phil deliver? And I love
This
that
game-
Phil was like a big third-party baseball game. He said third-party. He made sure that shit wasn't coming from his wheelhouse.
Now,
This-
now let me make sure I'm saying this right. Also, so the baseball game is not going to Game Pass. It's going to be a
Oh,
standalone.
No,
it's
no,
not Game
no,
Pass.
Okay,
no.
that's what
They
I'm
ain't
sure.
not
Let
putting
me
it-
show you the baseball game that Xbox was
On
getting
Twitter,
for the
I keep
last
seeing-
10
I keep
years.
seeing people talk about, oh, it's coming to Game, and I was like, I don't remember them saying it coming to Game Pass. The only baseball game I knew that Xbox had was that RBI baseball game.
Dude, wait.
That's the
I
only
was
one I
about
knew
to
of.
I was about to just show everybody what baseball game Xbox was playing. Now that look what they're playing. It is like somebody that was eating shit out of gravel and now they're getting fed like real food. This is what Xbox was
Listen,
getting. RBI baseball.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Blizzard said Sony should make a Hot Shots baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be nice because their golf
This
games
is
are good.
wait a second. RBI baseball. This is what they got. RBI baseball 20. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they got. That's the only.
You know,
I mean, I think that was everywhere though.
The show does sell very well.
It does.
It
actually.
does.
It does sell
Yeah,
very
it
well on
does.
PlayStation. So
Is this the game that was RBI baseball? Who made
yeah,
this?
that's what it was called. I don't know.
I don't know. RBI baseball.
Is this
old
it?
school.
Yo, what's up, Big Cloud? Wait a second. I got to find out if
Mhm.
this was the game.
That's what it is. That's the name of it.
I remember RBI
RBI
baseball.
baseball's old school.
I thought it was old school. That's why I'm surprised. Oh, here it is. Oh my god, who the hell made this
I
game?
remember playing RBI baseball on the original NES.
This was made
That's
by
old school.
Kokum International.
Mhm.
Oh,
Interesting.
Dude, like this is
I don't know. Like,
this is what they've been playing. This is what Xbox. This is what Phil's been delivering for the last years over on Xbox.
I
He's
knew
been
they had a
giving them
baseball game.
some friggin' budget gaming, baseball bootleg. I don't even know these are real players.
And you know why? I hope it does well. On
Wait a second,
Xbox.
who's this guy? It says Aaron Greenberg's playing
It's
for the
because-
Dodgers.
Is because
They put
if
the
it
employees in the
does well-
game.
To me, if that game can do well on Xbox, it shows that you have to have experienced talent that are making the games, and people will buy your product if you're
Won't.
making a good product.
Oh
I don't think
won't
it
do well.
Jesus!
will do good because I
Ew.
think that I don't think there's a big enough what's a fan base for baseball on
Mm-mm.
that platform.
Frog, are you
that,
seeing
you know-
that? Please go to. Oh my! Please look
I'm
at the
watching
channel and please,
that's-
somebody,
that's
please
the
tell me
baseball
this is
game.
what Xbox baseball has been.
Yeah, that's all they've been able to
That's
play,
what they've been
is
playing.
RBI.
RBI baseball. Yes.
Oh my god! Well,
Yeah, that's it.
Jesus, look at this guy's dive. He goes from standing to a dive instantly. This is like one of those friggin' Tiger games in the old days. Well, God bless
It-
you,
it won't
Sony,
sell
for
well.
saving Xbox because
Mhm.
Jesus, it was a sad case. But Phil promised them in 2017, so good on Phil, I guess. And
What
then
about
Aaron
that
Greenberg comes
$70
out
though?
saying that he's been working on it for all these years. Yeah, Buck Rogers says Yakuza 6 is the best baseball game. Oh shit! Fucking mini
Hey.
games.
Will they pay $70 for it?
Oh,
No, they're
that's a
not
question.
going
Will
to.
they pay $70 for it? Because just last week, Sony was the anti-gaming, anti-consumer. Right after Phil tried to pull down his pants and smack you with 12 teraflops across your face on Friday, charging
Hold
you
on.
double for Xbox Live. But then Sony was the bad guys with $70 charges for games that they're saying they're not paying $70 for. But guess what?
I have something to say.
Wait,
about
Frog.
that.
The one thing I wanted to say is that they're pulling some Call of Duty bullshit with this one. So,
Yes.
yeah, you don't get the smart delivery. Sony said smart up your ass because they're not delivering
No,
it.
you either buy the PS5 or the PS4 version.
Yo,
That's it.
Callie.
You either buy the Series X or you buy the freaking my problem with I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this PlayStation $70 first party exclusive $69.99. That's bullshit. These are the same people, and because I had to think about
Now I
this,
gotta show the
right?
show.
People are mad that PlayStation first party exclusive this generation and some third party exclusives, not just Sony, some third party exclusives $70, but people are mad that Sony is charging $69.99 for PS5 games, and they're like, it's bullshit. But Nintendo's still charging you $59.99 for games that were on a freaking Wii U.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
Um,
people aren't mad about that.
but they're mad that Sony's gonna charge you
This is,
$69. I don't get that. Like,
but the thing is, what they don't realize is Microsoft. They don't know Microsoft's pricing strategy when it comes to big AAA games because they haven't put one out. So
exactly. So until we get a Halo and it's standalone, we won't know if they're gonna charge the 69 or what they're gonna. Yeah.
Well,
'cause I'm
no.
just sitting there
Halo,
like,
we know. Halo, they're charging $59.99 for because you can pre-order it, but it doesn't have the multiplayer in it. That's for the open. It's for the open air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have multiplayer because multiplayer is free to play.
I just don't understand.
It's for the
though, like,
open
how
world, and I don't. And we're waiting
how
for
people
Craig
are
to get
keeping
some
the
chest
same
hairs.
energy, like how you look at a company and they're like, well, Sony's charging 69. That's bullshit. Their games aren't worth 69.
Well,
But a Wii
we'll
U
find
game
out with
that was
baseball.
released, but a Wii U game that was released back when the PS,
Look at this
360,
replay.
like it's worth 59. I don't get
Mhm.
people like that. Like, I think Nintendo games are good, but I think that $60 for some Nintendo games are very overpriced. I mean, I look.
Oh, we'll
I'm
get
gonna
to
take like
Nintendo, Frog. The
Super,
next one,
Super Mario
overpriced.
Super Mario All Stars.
They're not slowing
3D was
down.
$59, and those are freaking
It's
N64.
Nintendo's on their own island. They're on the island of
don't get
goddamn
it.
loss. They do whatever they want to do, and people pay. And we'll talk about the financials next. But the one thing I just want to show a comparison. I just showed this is MLB The Show. This is what Sony has been producing, and I just flipped back to show you
That's a
RBI
great
Baseball Phil Spencer edition that the Xbox has been playing. This is the Phil Spencer edition that he promised. So this is the
Phil Spencer edition.
this is the glorious edition. So this is what they've been playing on Xbox, and that was the other thing was what the show is. So my God, it is like the Spider-Man meme where he has the blurry glasses and then he takes off the glasses and you can see clear.
God.
There's going to be an elation of this. Phil has saved the day with no more Phil Spencer edition RBI Baseball. Now there is going to be a real baseball game finally everywhere so we can enjoy. Good luck with the crossplay. Their servers suck. Maybe they'll improve them. But as we're talking about Nintendo, Frog is about to go rip not Reggie Fils-Aimé, but Bowser a new asshole. And he was going to talk about this,
Bowser.
but Frog, Nintendo has something to say to you. They have to say, you know what? We don't give a shit what you think because we're making bank. And Bowser is cashing checks. He's cashing checks at the goddamn bank every day, man. He's getting paid in Mario coins. Goddamn Bitcoin, Mario coins he's getting paid in. Holy shit.
Tell you something, man.
Frog, go in on them. Go in on those sons of bitches Nintendo that rape us for money.
Let me tell you, I can honestly say, like, when gaming, Nintendo has made me the gamer I am today. They really have, right? Because that's where my love came for gaming is like the original NES. But I'd be damned if Nintendo doesn't just rob people of money and like nobody says anything about it. And I don't understand this. Like, you got that like I said, the 3D All-Star port, which has a GameCube, a Wii, and a 64 game is $59.
Frog, it sold 8.32 million. Bowser tells you that it sold 8.32 million. How much was it?
$59.99.
Bowser says I just sold 3D All Stars.
Super Mario 3D
Okay, yeah, I bought it. I ain't gonna lie.
You're one of the 8 million. Almost 8.5 million Frogs. Bowser.
I purchased it too, right? So am I part of the problem? Yes.
Yeah. Frog, you're complaining about you bought it?
Hold on.
I should be complaining about it because I didn't buy that shit because I'm like, I played that already.
I purchased it, and the reason that I can complain about it is because I purchased it, and I'm like, there's some laziness to the port, right? But there again,
very lazy.
Mind you, this is what Frog is complaining about right here. 8.3 million.
Look, me buying Returnal for $69, I'm not going to complain about Sony charging me $69 for a game and say it's not worth it when Nintendo is charging me $59 for freaking Nintendo 64 and GameCube ports. Like, and so my whole thing is like, I don't understand, and I don't know who in the community is doing this because I keep seeing this conversation about games shouldn't be $69. Like, do people forget? Like, and I think people forget, and I'm honestly say this. I honestly think the people who are complaining about the prices, you guys started probably gaming on 360. You had to. Like, you obviously don't remember the PS1 and PS2 era. When I remember from PS1 when games for PS2 came up and we were like $49. Holy crap, this is expensive because they were $39. And then the PS3 era came to 360. I remember Microsoft said all our games are going to be $49. All our first party games will be $49. And then Gears of War came out, and Gears of War was the first game that was $59.99. And then when they asked them, they said, well, why is this $59.99 when it's a first party game? They said, well, it's technically not. We don't own the IP. This is created by a third party. They can charge. And Gears of War set a precedent for charging $59 in the 360 generation.
Frog.
And then guess what? After that, $59 became a standard to a certain extent. And then we went to the 360. I'm sorry, we went from the PS3 360 to our PS4 generation. $59 for almost 20 years. Like, realistically, why wouldn't people expect a price bump? Like, we stayed at $59 for a long time. So I'm not complaining about $70 games, right?
Dude,
But what I'll say is the same people who are complaining about the $70 games won't complain about a Nintendo game that is $59.99, you know, and I don't get that. I'm just like, how are you complaining about the $69 game? And I'm thinking it has to just be these Xbox fanboys that's doing it. Because I keep seeing the timeline on Twitter, people complaining about. I'm like, who's complaining about a game being $69? Not this guy. Because if it's a good game, I'm gonna buy it. God of War 69, I'm gonna buy it. The next Uncharted, whatever Sony comes out, for the most part, I'll buy. I don't have any problem with that. And I don't really have any problem with Nintendo charging the $59 other than when I buy it. And I'm like, this is a lazy ass port. I mean, we got a new Mario coming out, or let me rephrase that, a Mario that was on the Wii U that's going to come out this month, and they're including Bowser's whatever Furious Lair, and that's going to be $59. Nobody's complaining about that Wii U port coming to Switch for $59, but they're complaining about Returnal $69. It don't seem like it's going to be worth it. I don't get that. Like stuff does increase. Now, when we go to the next generation, I expect games to still be at $69 for quite some while. You know, I don't think that games are going to get cheaper by any means. Do people remember N64 days when those cartridges were freaking $69, $79? I'm thinking like these people, they started in the 360 generation. That's the only thing I can think.
The bottom line here is value subjective, you know what I'm saying? So
it is.
People will define what value is for them. So you could charge $120 a game if the game is worth it. Now the thing is why does Xbox have this thing against, you know, Xbox gamers have this thing against paying $70 for games? Is because they won't even pay $30 for a game. You look at some of the games that came out earlier this generation, they weren't $70 and they still didn't buy them. I mean, Sunset Overdrive flopped and all these games didn't sell on the platform. So what did Xbox do? They needed to find a different way. They needed to have a game subscription service because clearly Xbox gamers are not buying their games. You look at MPDs, this shows time after time after time after time. Xbox gamers are just not buying games. So this $70 thing, what you were saying with the cartridges, those games that were $70 back then, $69.99 or even more, those with inflation, the way that things worked and the way people were getting paid, it was a lot more expensive back then. You know what I'm saying? Like that price tag.
Yeah, I remember Street Fighter
$70
2 was like $80.
Yeah. So $80 back then is not $80 today. You know, $70 today.
Yeah, that was crazy.
$69 in the game when you can look and see the value. You can look there. Okay, you can look and say, okay, not everybody's doing $69 games, but 2K obviously thinks their basketball game is worth $69, which I don't personally think it is. But guess what? They're gonna charge that, and it's gonna sell, and people are gonna buy it. You know,
and we know EA's not gonna
come out,
and that's what happened.
So my whole thing is, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
It was just a bullshit narrative. It's gone now because the show is $70.
I don't get it though. It's like
that's it.
Okay,
they're trying to blame. They're trying to blame Sony for the reason why the price increased. It went inflation. It's not Sony.
Just show me what will be the next Xbox game that could get close to a $70 price point. It's not even Halo because that doesn't have the multiplayer, so they can't charge $70 for Craig with no chest hair. So I don't know what they're gonna.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, maybe. No. I don't know.
Maybe you know what?
Frog, who knows? By that time, games will be $80. It'll be 3 years from now.
Hey, didn't they lose the head of their studio or something?
Yeah, we got that on the thing. Well, I didn't add that to the thing, but yeah, that just happened. But yeah, he the director of design left. He had some issues,
Oh,
I guess,
mean-
with family, but he helped build that studio. He was like one of the second people they brought in. But yeah, he just left the whole thing. Like he's not
This is what
sabbatical
I'm-
or anything. But
This-
wait,
this
I
is
wanted
what I'm
one
gonna
thing
say.
I wanted to say before I get into that thing.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, Frog, we're talking about Nintendo financials. That's on the grinds board. And I have to say
God.
something here, Frog. We got Ring Fit Adventures. Had a strong selling for 9 months, shifting 5.9 million units, giving it sales. Now, we could say the pandemic, everything is inflated.
Wait, what's Ring Fit? I don't even know what that is.
It's the piece of plastic that you shake and you
Ring
bend.
Fit. Yeah.
Oh, the thing.
It's like a steering wheel looking thing.
Yeah, the steering wheel thing.
Okay, yeah.
But what I'm
I
gonna
think
say
that's-
is when I see those
Wait,
Nintendo
you
games,
talking about the
everybody's
cardboard
crying.
thing?
Nobody looks like goddamn Richard Simmons.
Wait, you're
That's
talking
all
about
I'm
the
saying.
cardboard thing?
No, that's
like
something
5
else.
million?
No, this is the ring that you bend and you flex and
It's
you
white. It's like
It's
white.
it's a
I
big
think.
piece of plastic. It's like if I just gave you a piece of garbage and said go play with it. That's all it is, and you stick those little wee
Nah.
dongles into it. But let me explain something.
Wow.
When I see those Nintendo things and everybody's crying and screaming, nobody looks like goddamn Richard Simmons. 8.5 million selling those things. People should come in looking like
Simmons.
look at fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger crying about Mario and Banjo Kazooie. Nobody looks like that. But anyway, just to finalize with the Richard Simmons, but the Nintendo sold 79.87 million goddamn Nintendo Switches.
As they should, man.
Holy shit.
Look,
They're
let me
making it
tell you,
rain Mario coins, dude.
Dude, oh
if-
my
Did
god.
anybody listen to? I can't remember exactly. Reggie
80
Fils-Aimé did
million.
They asked him about, since he's left Nintendo, they asked him about the Switch and they asked him about the Wii U, and he said the Wii U was not where it should have been, and he said the Switch was a make it or break it system. He said it. He said the Switch was a make it or break it system for Nintendo. And Nintendo, if the Switch wasn't successful, Nintendo were looking at other options in the gaming industry. And I think that once again,
man.
Nintendo has captured that lightning in a bottle. And I think that this is their future. They know that they're good at handhelds. And I think the Switch is what the Wii U was supposed to be. And I think they just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It was too expensive at the time to do. And I think that, I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking at this Switch, I've always looked at it as a handheld system that can play on your TV. And I never had a problem with the Switch other than it being marketed as a home console. It's not a home console. It is a handheld that you can play on your TV. I've always looked at it as a handheld system that I can play on my TV. I looked at it as like a better successor to the 3DS. And I've never looked at it as Nintendo's new home console. Nintendo always looked at it as such, but not me. Like, that's not something that takes over my living room. They wouldn't have come out with the Switch Lite that doesn't connect to your TV if it wasn't a handheld console. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I've had this discussion before
Mhm.
many times about
Yeah.
what it is and what it isn't. Like, by true definition, it's neither. You know what I'm saying? Like, by what
technically,
we've
it's
been
neither.
going off of, because we haven't had a situation where you could go plug it in and have something that's a true handheld. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, but Salty, let me ask this question. Like,
Yeah.
and this is my opinion, because this is why I say it's a handheld, because they created the Switch Lite, which cannot plug into your TV. It's just it's on the go, no rumble, no.
Yeah, but that's like saying an Xbox One all digital console isn't an Xbox because it is only all digital. It's the definition of what you're saying based off of what your definition of it is.
Well, I guess the difference is you can still plug an Xbox all digital into your TV. You can still play everything.
But you can't
play.
put discs in it, so I mean it's
Yeah,
different than an Xbox.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, it basically does the same thing, that an Xbox can do. You can still play the same
But
games on there.
can you? Because the thing is like it's an iteration. Because Nintendo does that, right? Because
They do.
the Lite is a different version of whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah,
with
they
the
did it
Switch,
with the
but
3DS,
original-
the
Yeah,
2DS.
if you're,
Yeah.
if you're talking about the Switch, if you're talking about the Switch that docks, that's both. By definition, it's neither or, it's both, because
It's a Switch.
you could decide what you want to do with it. You could have it plugged into your TV if you are only a Nintendo gamer, and that could be your home console, or you could play it only on the go, or you could do both. That's why it's called the Switch. That's why it's so
It's called the
genius.
Switch. It's
And that's
ingenious.
why they've hit that
It's,
market.
Yo, you know what? It's
but
been the
they're
world that
gaming
we've been trying to do. I know the PSP tried to do it. You go hook it up to your TV or use it as a controller, a multi-purpose device that you could take on the go and play. And they did it. And the only thing that I wish they could have done was they could take the dock and make it like a graphics amplifier where you pop that in.
I agree. I agree that.
And then when you put it on your TV, it basically bypasses the Nintendo graphics on board chip and goes to a dedicated GPU that's inside the power dock. And boom.
I think that would be fucking phenomenal.
That's
dude.
the next step, dude.
Yeah.
Power dock.
Yeah, do it.
Marketing.
Yeah, I think that's
power
the next
dock
step too. But I guess I've always looked at when I seen the Switch, and yeah, I agree. It's a handheld, and you can say it's a home console but when I look at when that Switch Lite launched, I was like, okay, this thing is definitively they've made it a handheld. There's always been a handheld because the Switch Lite cannot do any.
Well, Frog, I think the Switch Lite was to go against the DS. Like I think that was their commitment of killing off the DS. I think
they were phasing that out, and that's why they needed an option for that.
That's what I think.
Because there's people that don't want to dock it, so they're like, well, instead of the 3DS, come get this Switch Lite. It only costs whatever $200.
Yep. Yeah,
and therefore they can make one game, right? So they can make one game that works across the Switch Lite, which is your mobile dedicated thing. It has better battery life and stuff. But you could do.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Your other one.
I think the console.
So they don't have to make the DS one.
I don't ever play it on dock. It's always on my TV. Which I think I've been playing it on dock now because for some reason my Switch dock, when I sit my Switch on it just keeps blinking. And so for some reason, like it'll get a connection to TV, then they go off, connect to TV, go off. So I think there's something wrong with my dock. So now I have to play it on dock, but I never did. I treat it as, I'm gonna be honest, I treat it as a console that can a handheld console can play on my TV. I don't dock the thing, but I understand what they were trying to do. It's genius. It worked. But I can honestly tell you, I've had my Switch since launch, and I've never taken this thing out the house. Like I'm just like I guess for me
it's good in the clutch. I tell you, I use it with my kids. Like when he wants to still play Fortnite on the go or Rocket League or something like that, man, it's good go. Like that. It's something to keep him quiet.
I don't ever take it out the house, and I think I've been on a couple of road trips, and I'm like, I don't see the purpose of taking this. Like I go on my road trips, my vacation, I have vacation, and when I come back home, I can play it. I don't know. I think Nintendo's genius. I'm not saying that they're, I think they're genius for how their success. They're great at that. But I guess I kind of always looked at it as a handheld and never just like, here's a new home console. I've always thought in my mind.
Well, this is their future, right?
At this point, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. I've always thought in my mind because Nintendo kind of made me think, and it made a lot of people think, hey, this is, our new. They even said it themselves, hey, this is not our introduction to our new handheld. We're not going to discontinue the 3DS when the Switch comes out, which they did, because they realized the success. But I agree. I think this is their future. I don't think they can make a standalone home console now at this point.
No.
I think that them doing that would really hurt. So I think that they have no choice but to continue making Switch-like systems where, okay, and I agree with you. I wish the dock was a booster in a sense, like that you can put it in there and it can amplify what your experience gets. It's like, okay, well, on the Switch you can only do this, but if you have this kind of dock,
don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry, they're just holding out because they're selling bangers right now. It's coming. The last thing about the financials is that they said that they're not going to have any powerful Switch coming anytime soon. So that's a lie.
I don't think they need one.
No, they don't exactly. But I'm telling you, that power dock is coming. That power dock is coming. That's the next Switch, and they're gonna make one that does with it. And that power dock might be retro, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, like they have something that's more powerful, but they don't need it right now because they're selling gangbusters. But speaking about the Switch and mobility, I think that's one of the things that's killing the next thing and that big competition for the cloud. So we're going to take the cloud. I have Destruction All Stars released at midnight. We already talked about that one. We talked about Drew Murray leaving the initiative. Good luck to him. But, they announced Perfect Dark and he left. Game, good luck. I don't know what's going on. I was telling this to the guys earlier. Like, I think Perfect Dark and Fable I think those are name drops. I really can't wait to see what those games come amount to and how long we're going to wait for gameplay on those games, because I just think they're kind of pacifying name drops of familiarity. Just like, hey, those big games are coming, stay tuned. And basically it's the carrot to lead you forward, because if they said there was some new IP, people would be like, oh, I don't know what that game is about. But if they say, hey, Fable Perfect Dark, people are like, oh, yeah, I kind of have an idea, and they'll stick around. I need to see what those games look like. But anyway, that's Microsoft and their boring-ass studios. They're not doing anything. They're a boring-ass company. So with that, let's get into the main thing that I almost lost my voice over 2 years ago, talking about the goddamn cloud gaming, playing with strap-ons on phones. Guys, put the kids to bed. We're going to be talking strap-ons. We're going to be talking phones. And we're talking controllers on the go that nobody wants to use, because Stadia is done and Phil the Mothman Harrison has struck again. Let's take this to the grind stable. Let's go. All right. So our main topic this evening, we have a 4-panel crew right now. I don't know, Link's still around? Link, you still there? I don't know, Link went.
He left.
Oh, he left. All right, Link, thanks for dropping by. You should have said when you were leaving so we could give you a grand outro, but he is not here for the table. He doesn't want to sit at the table with Salty and Frogs and myself. We are here at the Grinds table, and our topic today is that Phil, the Mothman. If you don't know what the Mothman is, please watch the movie with Richard Gere. It's very creepy. It's about this mysterious creature that's seen right before something traumatic happens and death follows it. That is what the Mothman legend is. It's from West Virginia. I followed that movie. Is very creepy. Richard Gere was excellent in the movie and very scary, and he didn't believe in the Mothman, and it came true. So Phil the Harrison Mothman, he is here. Everywhere Phil Harrison goes, death and company destruction follow. As soon as that bald-headed hitman-looking Agent 47 guy showed up, and he said, hello, everybody. I can't do an English accent, God damn it. But he came in here, and he's like, welcome to Google Stadia. I'm like, this shit's done. Mothman is here. Wrap it up. You could even call him Eddie Mush. He bet on Google Stadia. I don't bet on Google Stadia. It's done. So the news today is that Phil the Mothman Harrison has shut down any type of first-party studio development that Google was going to do to promote their Stadia platform. And I guess that involves the one group. I guess they bought one studio with Jade Raymond, another person who just cannot follow up her success to Assassin's Creed. She was one of the premier developers in gaming. She promoted the Assassin's Creed. She created the first one. Probably wants to go and kick Ubisoft in the ass to see what the hell they done to Assassin's Creed ever since she left, because they just went balls to the wall bullshit with Assassin's Creed. That's not what she wanted. It was a historical thing. It was amazing. Anyway, she left. She started up another studio. She went to go EA. EA shit her out because EA don't know how to make games. And then Google and Phil, the Mothman not Spencer. Oh shit, not that guy. That's Phil, not Spencer. But all these goddamn Phils. Don't trust the Phil. That's all I can say. If you want to see anything right there, don't trust the Phil. But anyway, Phil, the Mothman Harrison, comes in, picks up Jade Raymond Studios, an Exile. I don't know what her studio is, but they're not doing first-party games. So therefore, Google Stadia now has become, in 2 years, grand opening, grand closing. They are just going to keep their shit open, and they're just going to do third-party games in a subscription service where you could stream it over the cloud to a Chromebook, said nobody, and maybe a Pixel phone, said nobody again, and not to other Android phones yet. Google, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You basically own the mobile market, but you're not putting Stadia on any other Android phones. But anyway, guys, what do you think about Google Stadia and and have you used it? That's the question. Me, I've not used it. I've used it once. I've used it on my Chromebook. And grand opening, grand closing. I did not have anybody time for that. After I had to sync my goddamn controller to my Chromebook, and I was like, what am I doing right here? I got a gaming computer. Frog, Salty, did you guys use cloud gaming or Stadia?
I tried it, and I was kind of like you. I was like, this is why am I trying this? Why am I even doing this? And I just like I tried that basically when they were trying to give the controller away in a sense.
They'll give it the controller, that's right.
Because I kept hearing people talk about how great Destiny was, and I was like, why am I doing this? Well, I could just play Destiny here on my console. So I wouldn't say I had a slight interest of Destiny and how it played, but I wasn't really interested in the service in itself. I didn't think it was going to be big. I thought it was going to fail. I think that when you look at everything we're going through within the last year with the pandemic to me, it exposed a lot of weaknesses in our country. And then I think the internet infrastructure in our country is one of the things that exposed how when people had to work from home and you had so many more people on the internet in your house at daytime, we got to really see the infrastructure of how the internet was in this country, and it wasn't what we thought it was. It's very sloppy, it's very weak. We need a whole overhaul. And I think that's why when I looked at cloud gaming and everybody streaming is the future, I said, no, it isn't. Just the last year alone should have told you that cloud gaming and streaming is not the future right now. We need to build our infrastructure with the 5Gs and with the better fiber optic cable. But we're just not ready. If the pandemic didn't teach anything to anybody, that our internet infrastructure is not ready. Look how many people are working from home, and look how often these ISP providers were just troubled by the amount of the flow. They just couldn't handle the amount of people at home. They were like, holy crap, there's so many more people. So they were having to retool. So what I'll say is, game streaming, I tried it. I have PS now, and I think it's okay, but I don't think it's the future of tomorrow or a year. I think we're going to be a long way out. Yeah. Maybe, I would say 2 console generations from now, to where streaming could even be something that we're like, this is something that can work on the go and it can actually replace native game. I don't think we're there yet. I think that I applaud Google for trying what they did, but my personal opinion is I think that Google should have just, and I know why they didn't. I think Google should have just came out with a home console.
That's what a lot of people thought. You're right.
And yeah, because I think that they could have came out with a home console and they could have really rivaled, some of the. They could have shook the market up in that way, and somebody would have to leave the market at that point, because I don't think we can have four console manufacturers on the market in a sense. But I think
also, what about the pricing structure? Did you know about how their pricing worked at all?
No, I didn't.
So let me tell you. So what they did,
I got the controller basically.
You have the controller? Because they gave it for free.
Yeah, I have the Google. Yeah, I think I got the controller, and I just had to pay for it was some weird deal they were doing last year, and they were just basically just like trying to get anybody in there.
Yeah,
and it was like buy a controller, get Destiny for free, and it was basically just it was basically really inexpensive. They were giving it away, and I want to say it was during August, September time frame. It was basically like, if you can get a controller from them, then you're good to go.
Yeah,
because they gave you the little Chrome thing, and that thing overheated bad.
Because it only worked on the Chrome stick. They've had so many problems.
Yes.
It didn't work on the old Chrome Ultra. They had to get the new one. Then they did an update to have it work with the other Chrome Ultra. The thing about Stadia, I have the display here of what they have in Stadia. Remember, they were going to have the free version of Stadia, and then the Stadia Pro.
Oh, there it goes. I'm sorry, Fox said it. Yeah.
What? What did he say?
Yeah, they gave it away. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I remember I was like, I know I got it really inexpensive. They were giving it away basically like with YouTube Premium.
But look at these games, dude. Jeez. This is the thing. So Google is not shutting down Stadia yet, but the fact is that we talk about this all the time, and this is what we were talking about before with content and the medium and what xCloud and Xbox Game Pass needs to do. It's content. And Google has taken away their first-party exclusive content that would have maybe kind of shown or drew people into this subscription. But again, they're using other people's games to try to promote their service. And when you could play Sniper Elite 4, Secret Neighbor, SteamWorld Dig 2, Submerged, Monster Jam Steel Titans, Orcs Must Die 3. Like, when you could play those games on Steam for 99 goddamn cents, when you could play those games, probably the mobile versions of some of those goddamn games on your phone, like, what draw do you have to say, I'm going to pay $10 a month so I could play these games on my Chromebook or on my Stadia? And this is a problem that some of these services have, is that they don't do the deals with the distribution. Like, Sony should have made a deal with Samsung, or not Sony, I mean Stadia. My shit did deal with Samsung and all these things to make sure that when they launched Stadia, it was on those devices so that they could at least start bringing in some more stuff. Instead, Google just held it close to their own, to Google devices, $10 a month to get these free games, but then on top of that, they want you to pay full price to play like Cyberpunk, Immortal Phoenix Rising, Destiny 2, Valhalla. You pay full price in addition to your $10 a month just to access those games. And you want to know what? xCloud is going to do the same goddamn thing, because Phil said that he wants xCloud that you could buy games. He said it on his latest interview. They want people to buy games from the cloud. So in addition to paying $15 for Game Pass, you will also buy a $60 game to access it. And as long as you subscribe, you can access it in the cloud. Who wants to pay double?
Question. Just real quick, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, Ed.
I guess the question to all of us is: are we surprised that this failed? You know, that's a good big question. It's like, are we surprised that this failed? Because
I'll answer a lot of these questions. I got on David Jaffe. Shout out to him. I mention him all the time and watch his shit, man. I give him shit. And he jumped in last week's TSGP because he was in the chat, you know. He's a big proponent of not only cloud streaming, but subscription services. He caps for that shit like it's going out of style, right? So he was the first person I DM'd when I heard the news, the RIP Stadia, because he was, you know, talking about Stadia, he's talking about Amazon, whatever their shit's called,
Luna.
And Luna and whatever. If it's a cloud service or a subscription service, you know, Jaffe's all about it. So I was like, well, Jaff, I mean, Google's $1 trillion company and they couldn't make this shit work. I mean, so what's the deal here with cloud gaming? I mean, what does that say about the future of cloud gaming? If Google, with all this money, because that's what people were talking about, right? Because that's why they say that Microsoft is in competition with Google, is because of the money situation and infrastructure and servers and this and that, right? It was going to be a cloud streaming gaming war. Well, where is that at right now? I mean, Amazon's having developer issues. They're having major issues, like even maintaining development studios. You have Jade Raymond, all these big names went over there to help you with the games, and you couldn't even get that straight. It's just a clusterfuck, and it's a nightmare. And just like you said, Frogs, the internet infrastructure in America is just so subpar. You know how many times my internet went out in the beginning of this goddamn pandemic?
Cox.
You know?
Oh my gosh,
Cox, exactly, right?
I have great internet where I'm at, and you know, but you know, I have fiber, and it still went out. And I was like,
so
I paid for gigabyte, and I yet to see a gigabyte.
Exactly, me too, right? So I talked about this with Jaffe, right? And he kind of went down to like, hey, we got to get outside of ourselves and just saying how our internet is. And they're like, they wouldn't have done this if they didn't think that consumers were going to be ready for cloud streaming. I'm like, that's a bunch of BS to me. I just think that they were hoping that they could catch a wave, right? It's like stocks, like this whole GameStop thing. You get in the beginning and then you kind of ride the wave of momentum. And then they got into this shit and they're like, well, I guess we're out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because these big companies, it's like, if you don't make us dollars, we're done. We're cutting you, right? Microsoft does this.
They did with Xbox
Google
Live
does it.
subscriptions. They didn't like the growth. They wanted to jack it up.
They don't wait years and years and years to wait to see if this stuff's going to pan out. They have people to tell them, analytical people and people crunching the numbers, and hey, this shit's not going to work for you the way that we're doing it. So just become this third-party platform for game streaming. We're out of here, right? So I see Amazon falling the same way, and then it's just these cloud services. I think it's just a bunch of bullshit. I feel like it's like something that was built up to be something the next wave. Like if this thing's going to be catching on, it's not for like 10, 15 years, honestly.
Yeah.
Nothing is close with this stuff. I don't want to take my phone out and play xCloud on the go, right? I don't want to rely on my internet connection because I can never rely on my internet connection. I could never say with 100% clarity that I'm always going to be able to rely on my internet connection. And I was talking to my friend. I said, how many people actually stream in 4K? Like, what is this stream at? You're not streaming in 4K because of how much internet
it's
you
like
use.
720. No, like 720. You want smooth. Like even they say when you stream,
You want it smooth, yeah.
720p. You don't want to stream 4K with
So
stutters.
so why do you do that, right? Because it's inconsistent.
Exactly.
No one streams at 4K. No one's watching shit in 4K. That's just watching shit in 4K. So imagine, because they were promising the moon. You're gonna play in 8K. You're gonna do this and that.
They want to charge you more money
Talking
too.
about,
like we'll send you 4K for $10 a month, or for free it's 1080p. They were gonna. Who's gonna check that? Digital Foundry over the internet? Like
exactly. So they made all these promises. They kept none of them. Then they asked you to buy into a service that you didn't. It's like I was telling everybody. Everybody was telling. It's like, why would you commit to buying games on this platform that's not a sure thing? You know what I'm saying? You guys don't have studios. Like, what's going to be assuring me that you don't just pull the cord? And sure enough, they do that.
Yeah.
You know, we saw with Battleborn.
Yes.
Even though they have single player elements of their game, they said, fuck you. If you paid for this, it doesn't matter. We're shutting it down. You don't have access. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the world we live in today.
And no, it's interesting. I pulled up actually, some old quotes from, when we were hyping up in 2019, when they were hyping up the cloud and Stadia, and Microsoft is ready. And Phil Spencer says Amazon and Google are the real competition in the cloud gaming wars. And it's not about the consoles anymore. You want to know what? The fact that Stadia has now pulled out, Lumia's having issues. Xbox xCloud is now just enrolled into Game Pass. They can't keep that shit on its own, because if xCloud was on its own, I don't think it would show success at all. And they just threw it into Game Pass to say, hey, 18 million subscribers, so we got 18 million xCloud people. But who's using it? Is it really beneficial for them? Because that's where Satya wants to go. He wants xCloud. That's the only Xbox he sees is xCloud. Phil's trying to keep it, we're going to do hybrid, and that's all pacifying bullshit. They want to get to the cloud. And the fact that Google, if Google, and this is where I said about that Microsoft was there was two problems with this whole xCloud thing and the cloud thing in general. Google went first. All right? Google went first with the releasing. xCloud just released in September. It was in beta for over a year. Google went first with that. And I said there were two things. One, Google knocks it out of the park and becomes the de facto online cloud service, which I didn't see that happening, but a possibility. And the other thing is Google leaves such a foul taste in the mouth of what cloud gaming is because they did it wrong, that nobody gives a shit about cloud gaming when Luna and xCloud release. That's the path that we're on right now. And Google is now showing that they really don't even want to stand by this thing. So the fact that Google is going to pull out its first-party development, that is going to make third-party devs know that, hey, you know what? Do I make my game for Google to put it in there? Who knows if it's even worth it? They're not going to see that growth because Google does not have unique content. That's one thing that I do have to say Xbox is trying to do with all these studios. But I think by the time these studios start pumping out things that may be worth a damn, it's going to be too late. And I use this example all the time with Disney Plus. Disney flipped the script and said, hey, we want to do what Netflix is doing. And Disney launched and just shot up. Boom. Yeah, yes, because they're Disney, but because they have that IP. And that's where the challenge comes with what I'm going to say with like if Sony and Nintendo decide to just say, we're going full cloud, they have legacy of games that they've been gaining respect and gaining acknowledgement for, award winners and all this other stuff. That stuff matters when you could launch a service and that kind of content is in there. So that's what I mean. Like, it's a lose-lose for Google, Amazon, and Microsoft if they cannot deliver content, because once Nintendo and Sony decide maybe 10 years from now, 5 years from now, we're going full cloud, they're going to win that mind share because they've been building it for all these years just based on great games. And that's the biggest problem I have with Xbox's approach to content with xCloud. Is the fact is that Microsoft is trying to put the service before the content, and that's not going to jive because the service is going to live and die just like Mixer, and they're not going to grow as fast enough because nobody wants to pay to wait. Get Frog.
Well, two things. This had a little breaking news. I don't know if anybody knows. It's not even really gaming related, but no, I know most people that grew up in my age bracket probably watch Saved by the Bell, and if you probably tuned in the news, Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond passed away. The guy that played Screech, I think he was battling cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So he did pass away. He was only 44, which is pretty young. I'm about to be 45 this year, so it kind of puts things in a perspective of just your life. You know, that's pretty young. You know, and it's crazy, man. So you know, rest in peace to him and you know the fans and his family and loved one. It's pretty sad to see somebody go so young. It really is. Really is. This is
that's sad.
Wow. But what I was gonna say when you mentioned Disney, Disney also did something that I think that is needed. Is Disney put a template out there? They put a service out there, but then Disney themselves. I know a lot of people watched the Disney, or I think it was they showed their road. Man,
their roadmap, right? You mean their roadmap?
They got like a 10-year roadmap of all the stuff.
The Loki show. You're right.
And man, and there's so much. There's so many movies and so many programs. HBO Max is the same thing.
They
showed a roadmap, and they're like here, and then we're like, they're telling us that we got another Matrix coming. We got this King Kong versus Godzilla. And we're like, holy crap! So they gave you stuff that you know you're gonna want to see. And you're like, wait, I can subscribe to this service without going to the movie theaters. And I get this day one for the first. I can get this for 30 days. That makes you want to subscribe to that service, and that's the thing. I think that when you look at these, whether it's a streaming or it's a Game Pass, or you have to have the content. And I think this is something we continuously said, especially like with Game Pass, you have to have the content. If the content is not there, your growth may be only as big, you know, with, let's just say Microsoft has 50 million consoles, 55 million with the Xbox Series X now, and we consider it last generation too. They could have as many subscribers as they have consoles, but they don't have the content. Yeah. And whether they have 18 million people subscribed or not, it's like 18 million, but Microsoft really should have just as many, but they don't have the content. And to think a Nintendo or a Sony doing something similar to Game Pass, like, and I think Jaffe said it, you know, he said that, you know, that a Game Pass model, Sony and Nintendo need to figure something out, because this thing takes off, then where does it sit them at? And I think the difference is, and I agree with them, that Sony and Nintendo will try to follow suit if they see it being profitable and it can take off and it being something that people want. But the other thing is, like, I think the difference between them is they have the original IPs, they have the talent, they have the software that they can just say, damn, you know, I can just, you know, imagine a Sony Game Pass kind of thing. They have so many first-party IPs, so many things that are only on their system. They can just throw in the Game Pass model that you can literally sit there for days and like, man, I have so much stuff, I don't know what to play. Whereas vice versa, I think that when you get like a Stadia, or you get a Luna, or you get even a Game Pass, I would say, yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, but it's the quality of stuff that's there.
Exactly.
It
totally is. And I know that
you don't have the quality there.
The other thing is not only it's the unique content, and that's why games like we'll talk about the medium and stuff, that unique content that's put into that service is criticized much harder and scrutinized, because that content, such as the medium, such as Grounded, such as Gears 5, those games are looked at now not just for games on themselves, but games trying to drive and bear weight of the service that Microsoft has put that pressure on. And it's unfortunate for the games and for these developers that Microsoft has went full in bed with Game Pass and not kind of done a more of an approach where, hey, let's ease people into this. Like I was saying, like even with this cloud gaming, I'm really surprised that nobody sat around and said, hey, let's introduce cloud that kind of grabs the hardcore gamer or the gamers that know what these games are. Like let's maybe use cloud in a way like I think they teased it for Stadia, where like you'll click on the YouTube streamer and you'll just launch the game and play right from where they left off. That feature never came out. Nothing like that. Nothing cool. Like, hey, maybe like even things like we do with the cloud per se with share play. You know, like we were playing the War of the Monsters. It's not an online game, but like Frog streamed the game, and I was able to be the second controller and play as if we were doing couch co-op over the internet. And I was playing an image of Frog streaming the game over the cloud or over the internet. Like that is a feature that's like, whoa, we just added online to a game that doesn't have online. SharePlay should get more recognition. You know,
Yes,
using
it
a
should.
controller where
Definitely
you could
should.
take over. I remember I was playing. I forgot what game I was playing. I was playing one of the games like Dirt or Call of Duty. I was playing, and I handed the controller
Mhm.
off to Frog over the internet with SharePlay,
Yep.
and he was able to play Call of Duty on my PlayStation remotely. And
One to one.
he was able to feel the adaptive triggers and everything as if to like almost get a sample of the game before buying it. And things
I
like
think
that
that's
with
something that needs to be
dude,
mentioned
they should
more.
have done
I
some
don't
cool
understand
things
why
like
that's not
that with
talked about as
cloud.
much.
Like that's how you introduce cloud to your hardcore. But what's happening is that a lot of these companies like Amazon, like Microsoft and Google are trying to go right for the casuals. They're going right to the casuals' throat. Microsoft should have learned their lesson when they went TV, and pissed on a whole bunch of gamers with the Xbox One and said, you want to watch Price is Right while you game. No, they missed the mark on that one. Google, now they're doing the same thing. They're putting their games Gears 5 on a phone. For who? The person that plays Panda Pop or Age of or whatever the hell they play, some mobile ass game, they're gonna really sit there and play Gears 5. If they didn't give a shit about Gears 5, why would they now? And why would they, a phone person, pay $15 a month to access Gears 5? Then pay $60.99 for a controller and $10 for a strap-on so that they could play it over the internet? Why would they make such an investment to play Gears 5 when they could just buy a goddamn console for $199? Like, or like with a old Xbox. Like this is the thing. Your marketing, their marketing is all wrong. Google was trying to go have casuals with hardcore games per se. Assassin's Creed, dual stick, anything with dual stick is not casual. You know, to say like it's hard for somebody who plays Panda Pop and Touch on a phone or uses their Pixel Book to write Google Docs is going to want to hook up a controller, Bluetooth it to their Chromebook so they could play some sort of game that they really, you know, would have had a console if they're interested in playing Assassin's Creed. They missed the mark on the market. And the problem is that they should have utilized special streaming features and cloud features to introduce cloud and the capabilities of what cloud gaming can do, and then slowly bring those people to realize like, hey, I'm doing this now, but you know what? The cloud shouldn't be. The problem with this whole thing is that the cloud should be like unrecognizable. You shouldn't even know that the cloud exists. You should just click on something and think it's fast load times. Like the cloud should not, you shouldn't be sitting there going, I'm playing on the cloud. I'm playing on the cloud. That shouldn't be a thing. It should be so seamless.
Shout out to the 2 people that sub to the channel, man. Now
oh, thank you. I didn't even know. Thank you very much. You got me out of the hell of 6666. Thank you. Holy crap. I got it. You know what, guys? Thank you so much. Who was it, Frog? I didn't even see who it is. I'll shout him out.
One of them was my wife because she
Miss Frog, so Pepper and Frogs.
Yeah, so she listens, but she does, she listens because she does.
We won her over, Frogs. What did you say to her?
I was like, hey, you listen to us, but you never sub. She was like, well, how do you sub?
She was one of those stats.
She listens, but she doesn't sub the channel.
Okay, okay, that's all right. I put her in. She's in the lurker category. She's the lurkers.
She'll listen to somebody on YouTube, and then she, since we have the YouTube Premium, she'll get in the car and she'll be like driving somewhere. So she's like, I don't feel like listening to music. I'm just gonna listen to somebody on a podcast, and she'll listen to what they're saying, but she never subscribes, right? Because she doesn't, she just listens.
Oh
like,
man, well thank you.
Subscribe button. You got it. She's like, well, I gave him a little thumb. I'm like, no, you got to hit the subscribe button.
I'm like, especially the gaming podcast. I'm like, you play with, we're on there with Jazz playing freaking games. She's like, yeah.
That's
She's
all
like,
right.
we're on there playing.
I earned the subscription. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it. The
Hey,
Frog's
man.
dream is getting the Frog ladies. That's right, Pug. Thank you,
Hey,
Neo.
man. Hey.
Says Jez, you're a trip. Yes, I am a trip. But anyway,
You
the
guys,
whole thing.
you guys definitely, I appreciate that. But you guys got to check out, and it's shameless plug again. You guys got to check me and the wife out when we're playing.
Oh yeah, we're gonna stream
freaking
that.
Road
We're gonna stream
Company.
that shit. We're gonna stream.
Oh
I
my
don't know,
God.
Frog. They got to load the volume. You guys are crazy. You got that is some genuine fun, man. If you want,
Dude.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you, Frog. On a whole side note, after this bullshit cloud, you ever see those videos where they talk about people on gaming strategizing, and somebody goes, "People don't
Yes.
play like that. You got to get in a Frog's party." People do play like that. They could market
do.
any game, man. If I recorded you guys playing like any of those games, we could like market that shit because you guys are like genuine, like strategizing in every game. Crazy.
And it's hilarious.
It is, man.
Our conversations are hilarious.
They're like, "I'm gonna
Some
kill
of them
you."
Hey, some of them aren't made for children, but I'll tell you, it's just we're just having genuine fun. And when you got two wives and two husbands in there playing, the conversation
man,
kind of
it
crazy.
gets-
Some
it
of the
gets-
things we say to each
It's
other.
raw.
Oh my god!
But anyway, so like this is the thing. Well, thank you again for those subs, and I'm gonna get like a ticker and something like that to put the subs up there. So thank you very much when I get that stuff because I didn't get the notification. But thank you for getting me out of hell. I got bought out of hell for this. I had the 3 6s. I was like, that is not good luck for my pod for my
Dante's
channel.
Infernal.
But the thing is, so like, yeah, Salty. So what do you think about like? Don't you think that they're marketing this cloud to the wrong people?
Yeah, definitely, man. I don't know, man. Like I said before, I think it's the best company right now in the best place is Microsoft, and that's
Mhm.
kind of weird
Yes.
Yeah,
because
right.
because it's only an option, and I think that's like the only way
That
you
was
can
a
make
slick
this stuff
way.
work.
Yeah.
You know, because it has to be where it's an option for me. Because if it's the only option, it's going to go the way of Google.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what is Amazon? Even if their model's a little bit better, which I think they have like Ubisoft in there.
They got like channels.
If I remember correctly,
they have like channels
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
I just think that because it's not an option, it's just not going to do well. And I think that we saw that with Google. And I don't think Google would have pulled the plug if they thought there was some kind of a future within the next couple years, like things were
Right.
going to pick up, if their studios were going to do better. And another thing that Xbox has that these other companies don't is established gaming studios. It takes years and years and years to build these up. And even if they're struggling, 343 and some of the other ones, that's still better than what Google had because they were starting from the ground up with no IPs, a fresh studio, and it's difficult to do that, And then Amazon, they're having major issues with their development studios. I think
Yeah.
that one game that was trying to come out was some kind of MOBA or something. It hit the fan and nobody played it, so they put it back into beta and they ended up canceling it. It's not as easy as people think. And I think that it's going to show that. So Xbox will use this as a perk to buy Game Pass.
Mhm.
And I don't think it will ever be an only option. I don't think people are going to go,
Not yet.
hey, I'm an XCloud gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They don't even call it that.
But
They call it like Android Cloud streaming on Android. I don't know. They call it some weird name.
Yeah.
Like Game Pass.
yeah. But eventually, I think Xbox will be just out of the console business in general anyway.
Yeah.
So I think at that point, like if they have like just a stick that is Xbox, like, hey, this is a stick you plug into your TV or something.
Yeah.
But traditional consoles, I don't know. Do you think that they'll hit another generation for Xbox? Do you guys think that that's a possibility, or what do you guys think with that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that they will do it because they have the finances to do it, not because of. It's not really. And how can I say this? Like, Microsoft is a company, $1 trillion. They got money, right? So they'll do it, and it's not really because it's really needed. It's just because it's just a thing to do. It's kind of like the same reason they kind of launch in Japan. We do it and we launch in Japan just because we don't want to say we're not in Japan. Even though we know we don't do good there, we still got to launch there. I think that Microsoft will try to just stay with the current market. They were like, well, Sony is the market leader and Nintendo's right behind them. So we'll just release another console no matter we're making money or not. But I do think at some point. So I think in my heart of hearts, like I think one or two things that happen within this generation. This generation will be a tell for them to say either we're going to stay continuously in the hardware business, or you know what, let's just go ahead and put our stuff everywhere that we can, and kind of absorb ourselves into the ecosystem that's already here. Um, and I think that I think Xbox as a brand is a good brand, but I think that it doesn't need to be under Microsoft's wing. I think that when you have a division like Sony, they make money hand over fist off their gaming division. If it really wasn't for the gaming division, who knows what
Yeah,
Sony
it
would
keeps
be
the
right
lights on.
now. And same with Nintendo. Like Nintendo, that's they got investments in their places, but they're a gaming company. So whereas Xbox's biggest benefit is they're under the Microsoft umbrella, and I think that because they're under that Microsoft umbrella, they can work things differently. So they can keep investing, they can keep losing because the main branch of who they're under makes so much money. It's like okay, but I do think that eventually we're going to come to I won't say a one console world. We'll come to a console.
It's
I
a
don't want to say
console
console.
services world, maybe. Who knows? Like,
Console services world where you're buying the box and you can store your stuff on there and you can play your disc on there, but it's mostly controlled through the box is just kind of
yeah.
like there to do certain calculations, and all the other stuff is done through the internet. I think that is the future of gaming. So I think that the box will still be a valuable part of it. And I think Microsoft, how Xbox's game division, I think they decide is like they decide. I think this generation is important to them because I think in this generation, if they they can't move not only consoles, but if they just can't move subscriptions, and it's not even the software anymore because they're so focused on subscription. If they can't get the subscription numbers, up to I think a certain
That's
level of where
yeah.
their console hardware is selling, then they may just say, you know what, where is this bringing us? We can just put our subscriptions on PlayStation. I think that's the future of them. I think they want to have Game Pass on PlayStation and Game Pass on Nintendo systems and Game Pass on your TV, because then it's just like, hey, we can stop making the box and we can let these other guys make the box, and we can just put our freaking Game Pass here. And if people want to continue being Xbox people, they can just subscribe to the service on their new PlayStation 7 or whatever, whatever it's
Yeah.
going to be called, PlayStation 9, But what I'll say is just that I think that I think that it eventually we're gonna get to the point where you know uh more right now more than anybody, Microsoft needs to do well this generation. I am rooting for them to do well, but they seem to be making the same mistakes they made for the last 8 years coming off the Xbox One. Like their marketing is really bad, their messaging is really mixed. It's like the people there. And I'm not going to say Phil Spencer. The people there need to change positions. They need to get some new people with some new ideals.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is for right now, for this console generation, one thing they cannot lose is Phil Spencer, because I think if you lose somebody who's basically like somebody as symbolic as him, more or less to me, Phil is a symbol of Xbox. So if you take away Phil right now, you better bring in somebody that has much charisma and like he has. I don't think his kumbaya playing with everybody fairly is the greatest tactic. I think competition is good, because I think when you do that, you get a situation like where you have EA, they control Madden. You're like, damn, even if it's not good, I still gotta buy it because it's the
Yeah.
only football game out there. And I think you need competition. So I want to see them compete in more ways. And I think their way of competing is just Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. And I think that me personally, uh, that's not really the way to compete. It's a way to compete, but you got to focus in other areas that when you got Sony out there and they come out with the game that's a brand new, like I just say Returnal, and let's just say Returnal sells. Let's just say Returnal sells 3 million copies. Well, that's a brand new IP. It sold 3 million copies, and then it gets, let's just say the Metacritic score is an 8. It's like, damn, that's not a bad game. Well, you just had one of your competitors create a new IP, brand new from the ground up. It got good scores. It sold pretty well. It sold 3 million copies. can you match that with one of your IPs? You can't match it with things like the Medium. You can't match it with things like Fable. I'm just going to say Fable.
Well, that's what to do with the
Give an
management,
example.
like you were saying. Like
Yeah,
the
and
management,
that's why I think
it's
that
it's the
I
challenge that
think that
they need to
when
adjust.
when you have a service like Game Pass, it's not that it's bad. It's just that you're like, we're gonna throw everything we have in there that's coming
No.
from our studios day one, whether it's good or not.
That's a problem.
And
They need
and
quality,
then
dude. They need quality
and then you
content.
come in there and you're getting games like a Sea of Thieves that's having problems, State of Decay 2, which was trash, Crackdown
Well, they
3,
got a
which was
third one
very
coming. Maybe they'll fix it.
which was very average.
But
And I think that it becomes a problem. It's like, what have we seen coming to Game Pass with the exception of maybe Forza, Ori, and Gears of War that has been phenomenally great. Like on a
they
level
got a lot to
of
do. They got a
an
lot of
Uncharted
work to
or
do,
God
Frog.
of
They got a
War.
lot of work. They're trying to do a
Yeah,
lot
we
of
haven't
things. They're like the Kraken octopus. They're going in all different
we haven't
directions
seen
with
any
all
new
the
IPs come in
all the
there that have been
legs.
on the level as a Ghost of Tsushima. And Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP.
Sony
And they were
Sony
like,
has had
and
it. Like, they've
yeah,
done good with their IP, and Microsoft is stretching themselves, I think, too thin. And you're right about Phil. Like, I think he represents Xbox, and if he goes, like, I
yes,
think they'll have a real hard time to kind of get, like, that's like, I think the last string of loyalty is left because people are trusting his promises. But what Salty was saying about the consoles, the thing, my approach with the consoles is, I think. See, Microsoft, they're going to say in this whole cloud gaming thing, this whole cloud thing, they are the
hold on
most.
one second. I gotta mute myself. My dog is eating trash.
Oh, uh-oh. Don't sign up at the Game Pass. Anyway, what I was say is so the thing is like with the consoles, the thing is that Microsoft is creative in the sense where that's why Google kind of is having troubles, is that Google didn't have a gaming console. Amazon doesn't have a gaming console. So developers will have to make games for their console. And we've seen like all developers talk about developing on Xbox, developing on PlayStation. Now they got to develop on a Stadia box and an Amazon box, like their servers, their 10 teraflop Amazon Stadia, right? The thing is that by Microsoft releasing hardware, they're basically having these devs build their cloud future. So I think the Xbox is shaped the way it is, the Series S and the Series X. I think both of them are shaped the way they are because they're meant to be the blades of their xCloud. And that's why it's so small, that S. Like, that S exists because that's probably going to be their bottom tier. xCloud Series S resolution streaming. Then they're going to say, well, pay $15 a month and you'll get the Series X resolution streaming. So
Right.
they'll have a Series X blade and a Series S blade. And then they'll have the Series X2 and they'll just keep replacing the blades. But by developers making games for Xbox console owners, they're basically building a library that they could add to their cloud. So Microsoft is creative in the fact that they basically turned the Xbox console from a console to a server blade. And that's basically why they probably will continue making consoles to kind of keep feeding their server blades if xCloud gets there, which is probably what they hope. But knowing Microsoft history, if things don't go the way they go, just like Google history, if things don't go the way they go, things are going to change. Google they thought Stadia probably was going to light the world on fire, and now they had their studios to make games, and nobody was doing it. They were losing money. This is a waste of time. It's too much money to build a game. It's not worth it. We don't have enough people to get the money back in Stadia to build a new game. It's not worth it. Same thing, Luna and their studios. It's too expensive to build your own games. Microsoft is doing one thing, just like what Salty said. Microsoft is probably the best positioned here because the fact that they're buying all these studios, they are building, they are doing what they need to do. The problem is that the product is not there to prove that it's the right move. It looks good on paper, just like 12 teraflops look good on paper. But we're seeing what the reality of 12 teraflops is. And Microsoft, unfortunately, doesn't really play the waiting game or the long game very well. They usually jump off before anything hits, just like with Zune Pass, Spotify, all that stuff, pass it up. They did subscription music before Spotify even existed. And And look at Mixer. They jump onto Mixer. They buy all this money, just like they bought studios. They bought top streamers from Twitch. It didn't grow fast enough. They shut it down in a month. After getting people to build their livelihoods on there, just shut it down. Said go to Facebook. And Beam was something that they bought, and that was the future of their streaming services. They abandoned their stuff. And I have a long history of Microsoft products, and I've seen and been been a victim of a lot of this stuff where they get you all in. It sounds great. Oh, I do this over here, and this goes over here, and I have my work and play pass where I get my office, and then all of a sudden they just go, yeah, nah, we're done. Or here, we'll jack up the price on Xbox Live. And the problem is that Microsoft is trying to, when you build a subscription, when you subscribe, just like when you guys hit that subscribe button, you're hitting that subscribe button and you're expecting, the content. Now, if I come up on here and start, just showing like my wardrobe and stuff, you can be like, wait a second. I subscribe to Grinds My Gears because he's been doing content that I subscribe for because I want more of it. Why the hell is he showing me what the hell his suits look like or his shirts? I'm like, what kind of content is this? This is not gaming content. That's what subscriptions do. You got to build confidence in your audience. And things like what Google's doing right now, where they're just abandoning their first party, that's not somebody that says, "Hey, let me subscribe to you recurring every month and give you money because you are basically like I have confidence in the quality that you're providing." Games like The Medium, games like Sea of Thieves, games like Gears 5. If you have a bunch of Gears 5s coming out month after month, maybe you do earn my subscription. But you know what? Yeah, Windows Phone, Buck Roger. Don't ever remind me about that one. Jesus. The apps are coming. Yeah, they're still coming and the phone's gone. God damn it. But the thing is like you build you subscribe because you have confidence. And the wavering and the pivoting and the jacking up the price overnight of Xbox Live and then taking it away, that doesn't signify somebody saying, well, you know what, Microsoft, you know what, Google, I trust you to charge my credit card every month because I'm ensuring that I'm going to get quality content and I'm going to ensure that you're not going to just jack up prices because you have no other services. Like the moves that they're doing while they're trying to figure it out doesn't bode very much with confidence with them. But I didn't know if anybody had any other final thoughts on the cloud gaming. But the thing is that the cloud, I think VR is going to be here longer than cloud does. Cloud will still be there, but it's going to be an option, and it's not going to be our future, not anytime soon. Xfinity just instituted 1 terabyte data caps during a pandemic. Screw them. Now they won't charge you an extra $30 for unlimited. Meanwhile, it was unlimited, but they say 1 terabyte is enough for everybody, which is horse shit because I was going over that. Exactly. And you know what? Data caps are going to kill streaming because, if you could play locally, nobody's going to stream over the internet and ruin the data cap and somebody needs to watch Netflix. So there's a problem with the overlying infrastructure and, this whole data cap stuff. And that's a federal, local government bullshit that all those Microsofts and Googles are going to have to fight with. And I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft comes out with Wi-Fi hotspots and does kind of like a Verizon thing or partners with somebody with hotspots that your service won't count against your limit. That's the kind of stuff they got to do. Like how Netflix did with T-Mobile, where you could stream certain video, but it won't go against your data cap. But that costs money. And Microsoft, they're willing to do it. They're going to have to drop that kind of money. If they give Xfinity going, hey, xCloud doesn't take away from your data cap, then maybe more people will stream. But they're adding data caps rather than taking them away. And, we'll see what that future lies. But I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for, Salty and Frogs for your time. Thank you for the chat. Huge show, guys. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe. Thank you to the new subscribers and everything. One thing I do want to do, like the last 2 seconds, is that I want to do a tech drop. I'm gonna be checking out this new laptop, the dual screen Asus Duo. So I'm gonna be getting that thing to play with. It has 2 screens laptop. So I might just check this channel out. I might do a review and cover it. I might really like this thing. I don't know. I've been reading up a lot about it. It just came out, was announced at CES. It's like the second generation of a dual screen laptop where the screen is in the keyboard and it has like the top part. So I might do some coverage on that. So stay tuned to this channel. But Salty, thank you again for your time. And where can they find you, Salty, if they have not known already where the Saltiest Gaming lives?
You can find me on YouTube, Saltiest Gaming. It's, let's see, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We have King Thrash coming on, and we have another guest that will be a surprise guest as well. And then you can follow me on Twitter, Saltiest_gaming, and then PSN Saltiest_gaming. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure, and I'll be talking to you on Thursday. I have to go now download some Destruction All-Stars because I want to try to play that. Maybe I'll do a streaming tonight of that. But Frogs, tell everybody, did you get the dog out of the trash?
Yeah, my German Shepherd.
You saved her. Okay, good. All right. I thought she was in for at least 2 years of Game Pass. Thank God you got out of that trash.
She likes to go. She likes to freaking. I don't know what it is with German Shepherds, man. They like to dig in garbage cans, and then she'll be hacking on a bone or something. And you're like, why is she?
Is your German Shepherd named Phil Spencer?
Nah, man.
All right.
German Shepherd.
That's where he found bleeding ass. You know that. That's where he found bleeding ass.
Digging in the garbage can.
Yeah, he was. They said, "Who's that guy in the corner going through our garbage?" Oh, that's our new guy. He just bought Ninja Theory, and he's going through our garbage right there. He's trying to find the new game to put in Game Pass. Anyway,
when he walks into the Microsoft building, like, what smells like dumpster juice?
He's like, I was trying to get some content for Game Pass from Ninja Theory. Anyway, Frog, where do they find you, Frog? We're gonna be streaming tonight.
You guys can find me at Frog's Dream. Man. Yeah, I should be. If I can get this game working, I should be streaming tonight. I've been watching people play it. It's hilarious, yanking people off their cars.
Oh, I got it, man.
It's gonna be such a riot. Hopefully, this game, it's well received and hopefully plays well. It looks to we're looking at VG charts. Not VG charts. Yeah, I think it's VG charts. They've been doing the analysis for the streaming. It seems to be a lock 60. Resolution looks. I don't know what resolution is, but it looks good. So I'm really interested in playing it.
Cool, man. Yep, we're gonna be
really excited
downloading that one. But keep everybody. I don't want to keep everybody here, but thank you again, everybody, keeping you guys late. But shout out to everybody that came in. Shout out to the new subscribers. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification button because you never know when I'm going to go live with what grinds my gears. And welcome to the Grindhouse. And this concludes episode 4 of the Gaming Grindhouse. Thank you to our special guest, Salty and Frog's Dream. We are...
Oh, wait.
Oh, whoa. What happened, Frog? What happened?
Whoa. You forgot somebody. Somebody else did.
Oh, yeah, Link. Stealth Link.
Yeah,
he came in. He left in... As soon as we started talking about Nintendo, Link left. No, but shout out to Link for jumping onto the Grindstable.
Yeah, most definitely shout out.
And, bringing some knowledge in there and going on. Thank you, Link, for coming in. And, shout out to Link. Yes, I forgot. We talked so much stuff, and I forgot Link came on. But thank you again. But, yes, that concludes. We had 2 special guests. What a special show. We had over 50 people, 60 people watching. Amazing. Hit that like button. New subscribers. Great time. And thank you again, everybody, for your time. And until then, we are Ghost.